Hey, how's it going? Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, isn't it? Man, how's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. Haven't seen you in a while. Sorry, I was off Saturday. Well, I had to take some stuff off. Let me get my hat really quick. Sorry. There's so many things I forgot to do already. There we go. Better. Hey, how's it going? Man, happy Tuesday. First of all, yeah. Hey, there's a follow right there. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Mr. Robe. I'm going to go with Mr. Robe. I'm not going to put my own spin on it. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. While we're on follows real quick, well, there's another one. Hey, thank you so much. Skrillaflex. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. There was some other ones too. Torka Mata. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Hello with zeros too. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. And Psycho75. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. How's it going? How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. First of all, yeah, I apologize for not being here on Saturday. I was kind of racing up to the wire, trying to finish up some stuff, and I had to make a judgment call and say, rather than rush this and cut what I was working on and then cut the stream short, I was just cancel it all together. So I apologize. But man, how's everybody doing? Hopefully well. Tuesday, weather's warming back up. Across the country, it's getting a lot warmer. I know it is here. It's like 40 degrees here. That's like 60 degrees warmer than it was last week. So it's pretty awesome. But it's also kind of scary when it gets that warm that quick, because all this snow, at least we have here up north, melts really fast, and you just want to slow melt. You want to slow melt in the end of winter and spring. So it melted really fast today, and I was like, oh man, the ground is still frozen. We got pools on top of frozen ground. Anyways, I'm tired of that. Tired of winter. I'm kind of over it. Anyways, real quick, I'll say this before I totally get started and read some of these comments. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I've been working on a couple of things, but I finally pulled the trigger on getting one of the new Raspberry Pi 4s, and I was going to put it all together yesterday and the day before, and I thought, I'll just do it live. I'll just figure it out live. I figured I'll try something a little bit different. So I picked up a Pi 4B. No, is it 4B? I don't know what the exact model is. Pi 4. It's the 8 gig model because I got some plans for it. And I bought a PoE hat too, which I was like, yeah, I'm totally going to power this over PoE because I got a PoE switch. Why wouldn't I? So anyways, I'm going to try to assemble that. I got lots of gear that you don't see here, so hopefully it'll work out okay. But anyways, I figured I'd try something new, but I definitely want to get to your guys' comments and see what you guys are up to. Who was here first? It's PC Geek. Yeah, man. How's it going? Also, let me know if my audio sounds okay. I know that I say this every time, but things changed big time this time because I decided to reformat my whole entire PC on Friday night. And every time I do that, something goes wrong or something, doesn't go back the way it was. So anyways, I can tell already that my chat screen isn't where it should be. So I'll get caught up really quick because that is something I forgot to do because I didn't back up my OBS profile because I was like, yeah, it's totally fine. Last time I backed it up was 2 weeks ago. What did I change? I changed chat. But anyways, let's see here. Hi, Lude. What's up, man? How's it going? Woo woo. Creepinson. How's it going, man? PC Geek, how's your Tuesday treating you? It's good. It's good so far. Super busy. Took the dogs to the vet. One dog doesn't get along with people in general, so that was interesting. But he's a rescue. Well, they're both rescues, but he has special needs, and that didn't go so well today. He just doesn't like people that don't live in this house, and arguably sometimes he doesn't like me. So we're working on it. Creepinson early this time. All right, yeah, you're on time. Yeah, totally agree. Deal. Z in there? No, deal with it. Hey there. Hey, how's it going? Popcorn time? Yeah, man. Hopefully this works out okay. I want to try something new. Try something a little more low key. But yeah, Shakir, first in the room. To you, it looks like you're up first, but I think PC Geek was first. But yeah, and then like I was saying, I had to reconnect my Twitch chat. I'm like trying to type to you guys during the intro, and then all of a sudden I'm like, it's prompting me for my password, and I'm like, oh yeah, I redid OBS and everything. Hey, Mr. Robe, thanks so much for the sub. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see, Home Lab new. Oh yeah, password reset. I forgot all about that emote. I just moved to my new apartment. Ordered standing desk for it too. Home Lab new. Nice, man. Double standing desks. I like it. Yeah, standing's the way to go. I switched to standing a while ago. I don't stand all the time, but I said this a few times, but I stand every time I have a meeting during the day. You know, I have a day job, and whenever I have a meeting, I always try to stand. It's just a good cue to say, do something different. And it's worked out pretty good. I stand for this whole entire stream. It kills me towards the end, but I love it. I love it. Different energy when you stand. Mr. Robe, glasses clean, lid on the dome, piece, ready to rock and roll. I forgot the lid on the dome, so I'm glad I did put the lid on the dome. So then, yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll. How's it going, man? Dude, appreciate the sub. Appreciate it so much. PC Geek bought a Dell R210. Nice. Server on eBay for $100. Dude, that sounds like a great deal. Plan to use a pfSense firewall for the future. Edge router doesn't give you IPS or IDS protection. Awesome, man. Yeah, pfSense is still crushing it, man. They're still leader in this space, especially for open source stuff. I think. iLoot, I finally got my living room carpet installed after waiting a month because I tried to install the wrong carpet. I remember that. I remember you mentioning that in Discord, man. I remember you said they were going to install the wrong one. I think you caught them or stopped them, and they were all gun-ho about doing it. That kind of stinks, man. Thunderstorm. Anyone get a Rancher cluster to deploy to a new version of Rancher in Kubernetes? I haven't tried the install in a while. Real quick, Deef Dragon, dude, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. How's it going, man? How are you doing? Thanks for the Prime sub. Appreciate it so much. Thank you. Going back to Thunderstorm, I haven't done it recently. I'll be totally honest. I can maybe give it a spin later, but I haven't done it. Whoa, Deef. Whoa, Deef. Deef Dragon, dang, dude. Man, dude, thank you so much. Let me get this out of the way a little bit. Deef Dragon gifted 10 tier 1 subs. Dude, thank you so much. Man, dude, that's a lot. That's a lot. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, dude. How are you? Hello, thank you. So Vinny, Firespire, TBD Gamer, Will, Flomi, Tothek, Sid Cassidy, Shakir, Built a Fire, and oh man, that's a tough one. I gotta get it. Constathtopoulos. Dude, you guys should thank Deep Dragon for your gifted sub. Dude, thank you so much. 10 gifted subs. Wow. That's gonna go off for a while, but I'm gonna let it. Dude, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And then KT Aula. I'm going with that. Thanks for follow, appreciate it. And Wexy, thanks for follow, appreciate it. Dude, thank you so much. So many things. Thank you. I've said thank you a lot. I don't say it enough, but man, thank you. A lot of stuff happened really fast. But yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. But Thunderstorm, I can give it a spin later. I know lots of people have it running. So hopefully it's not something with Rancher, and hopefully it's something really quick we can figure out maybe in Discord. And iLoot, thanks for the link. PC Geek, wow, the video is super sharp. All right, does it look better? Is it bad sharp? I can't tell because I basically redid all of my OBS stuff, and I got some more stuff coming here. So yeah, maybe it's not a good sharp. Hopefully it's a good sharp. But yeah, and then did I switch to the new encoder too? Because I can do H.265 now. I noticed too with FFmpeg on my stream. I'm gonna glance. No, I'm still doing H.264. But once you get, I think, R series, you can choose a new encoder. I don't know. I haven't looked into it too much. I know it's smaller file size, and for streaming, that doesn't really matter. But not sure if it's better as far as quality is concerned. But yeah, let me know if it looks, let me know. Is that a good or bad sharp? Sometimes too sharp is not good because you're just like, see way too much. Need to stand back here a little bit. Shatty Pants. Hey, how's it going? Hey, Tim. Hope hear from your videos. Hope you're well. Thank you so much, Shatty Pants. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Hopefully they're okay. Hopefully they help you in some way or another, or at least give you an idea of what to do or what not to do. So yeah. Deal with it. Thanks for your most recent video. Was just setting up and using WSL yesterday and today. Hey, awesome, dude, awesome. Yeah, I'm a huge fan, and a lot of people ask me, and so I decided to slap something together real quick. I think that's my new thing. I'm just gonna continue to make, longer format ones and continue to make some shorter format ones because I like to. It's just a different pace. Change of pace for me for editing, and change of pace too for people watching. Sometimes people ask me a question, and I was like, I don't always answer it the greatest way, and so this is going to be my collection of answers when people ask me something that's super popular, and I want to make sure I get right. Not that I don't want to have a conversation with someone, but I just want to say, here's the way I do it, and I get asked this a lot. Here's the way I do it. Take it or leave it. But thanks, appreciate it. Deep Dragon Waves. Hi Tim, how's it going? We fear change. I don't mind change. I don't mind it. I like it. I like it. It keeps it fresh. Jimmy, hi. Techno Tim, hi. I'm good. Hope you are too. I was wondering if you could do any videos automating Rancher deployments following DevOps principles around CI/CD. Yeah, possibly. So that's going more into GitOps or really infrastructure automation. Possibly. I know a lot of people in our Discord have done it with Ansible. I say a lot. I could probably count it on one hand. But people have done it with Ansible. Sorry. I just slammed that whole can of bubbly water. Have I done it personally? No. I started to go down that path, and then I realized I was just spending too much time on it, and I was just like, okay, well, I need to get my infrastructure up and going. Not the greatest answer, not the best answer, especially for a developer. But I was like, at the end of the day, I needed it to run. It's a good point. How can I automatically deploy something like Rancher? Whether it be with Ansible or Terraforma, or I always say Terraform, or any other automation tool. That's a great question. Haven't done it yet. It's a good idea too. Takano, thought I would stop by and say, hey, gonna head out now. Though, as we have a funeral to view. Man, I'm sorry, man. Takano, thanks for stopping in, dude. Hope you're okay. And you used the banana command. Man, sorry to hear the news, man. Not any good news. Hopefully some good news is coming. Quantum Penguin. Wait, I feel like I skipped something because I saw it earlier, and maybe I didn't. I'm gonna keep going. If I skipped a comment, I apologize. I didn't mean to. It wasn't on purpose. Jimmy, just read that. Now this is what happens when I do it. Where was I? Hope you're well too. Is wondering if Takano. There we go. This is why I don't scroll in comments. Just got the 8 gig Pi 4 as well. Going to make a NAS for a few and a few other things as well. Awesome. Yeah, I got it. I got everything right here. And I have this camera set up, and I definitely want to show it off. And I want to try to put it together. I built. I think I built 3 or 4 Raspberry Pis. I still have them. But I've never done the PoE hat. I'm sure it's just as easy as just, plugging in a hat into the GPIO pins, but it sounds fun. And I was like, well, why spoil this moment and do it by myself? Why not just do it? Public. Why not? Techno Tim, any tips on getting a cluster to deploy on a single node in Rancher, in the single node version of Rancher? No, I don't. With the single node Rancher, to be able to scale, the way that you would scale would be to add the agent to another machine, right? And add the agent to another machine, and then you can create. Can you create a new cluster in a single node? I need to check my facts. I haven't done it in a while. I'll have to look. But as long as you can get Docker on that machine and you can get the cattle agent, that agent you copy and paste and deploy, you should be able to do anything else. And so once you get that agent on there and it checks in and it communicates with your, I guess your master, you should be able to deploy anything. It just becomes, another, server in your, you know what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I was looking at too many things. But is the agent installing? That's my question to you. Is the agent installing? Is it communicating? PC Geek, I've been trying not to be first. I was watching Netflix instead, and somehow I still ended up being first. Yeah, you're always first, man. I think you're on a couple week streak. Deep Dragon, I really need to get into the habit. It's a really good idea. Yeah. Tothic, T to the Q got Kubernetes. Oh, T to the Q. I've been calling you Tothic. All right, I like yours better. T to the Q. I like it. T to the Q got Kubernetes and Rancher working. Latest version takes quite a bit to provision. Takes quite a bit to provision. That's what I hear. Your videos are great. Thank you. Do you have any preference on Rancher or Portainer? Yeah, I mean, I feel like I should do a quick video on that. Do I have any preference? It depends on what you're trying to do. You know, and I will say, like, if you're going to do Docker only and you're going to have a single host, or maybe you're going to use Swarm. But if you just want a UI to manage Docker or Swarm, absolutely go Portainer. Absolutely, 100%. I mean, I have 3 instances of Portainer in my environment, just managing a couple Docker containers because, well, you know, I want all the goodness of a UI because I don't want to SSH and terminal in while I'm remote and all the things that come with the UI. You know, and then if you are thinking about doing Kubernetes, you know, they both support Kubernetes. Both Rancher and Portainer both support Kubernetes. You know, I've done Rancher since Rancher 1 when it was not Kubernetes, and then I did Rancher 2 when it was Kubernetes. So you know, I'm familiar with Rancher and I like what they're doing. You know, the choice is going to be up to you. If you want to do Kubernetes, then it's going to be, you know, which one do you want to manage Kubernetes for you? And that's really going to have to be, you know, a decision that, you know, you're going to have to make. But if you aren't partial to either, you know, I would say go with, I don't know, whoever has the most stars on GitHub. I don't know. No, that's never a good metric. It's one, but not the end all be all. You know, it's really going to be up to you. If you have a strong, you know, affinity towards Portainer, go with it. If not, Rancher. I mean, you know, what do I run? I run both. But I have Rancher managing my Kubernetes, and I have Portainer managing my Docker. Could I have Portainer for all? Sure I could. But I need to kind of do both. One, because I talk about them a lot, and I need to understand them as a product. And 2, I think, you know, Portainer is really good and efficient at managing, you know, a Docker host. It's pretty awesome. They need dark mode. Everyone needs to go to their GitHub issues. They're going to hate me. Go to the GitHub issues and star the one request for dark mode. Or I remember seeing it being in there. I can't remember if it's closed, and I get it. They're a small team, and, you know, UI changes like that are, you know, are hard to prioritize over, you know, big capabilities, but hey, they get a big enough user base now where they need a dark mode. So anyways, I'm rambling. Deep Dragon will employ that when I start my new job Monday. Nice, which I got in part thanks to the push on working on something. Hey, thanks. Not me, just you. Now, hopefully I helped with a little motivation, but the rest is all you. So congratulations. That's awesome. Raptor, hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Iru, the developer. That's so hard to say, but I love it. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. That one snuck in there. Didn't see it. Let me see. I'm going to scroll through these. Man, there's all the subs. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Minnesota Gap, MN Gap. I'm going whenever I see MN, that's Minnesota, but I'll go MN Gap. Use your tutorial for gaming server. Set up an R720 with Proxmox and Windows VM correctly. Splitting up the I can't talk. Splitting up the AMD Radeon Pro Duo was a bit interesting, but definitely helped watching your videos again. Hey, thank you. Awesome. I've never attempted it with an AMD, so I'm glad you're a success story. Now when people are like, hey, I'm trying to do it with AMD, does it even work? And be like, yeah, totally. Like MN Gap 214 did it. But that's awesome. Thanks. Glad it works. I don't have any AMD video cards like in my arsenal to even test. I wish I did to test, but glad it's working. That's awesome. I hear that it's funny because, like, you know, NVIDIA, you know, is totally hard, but at least you can pass it through and then you'll get the, you know, code 43 error, which, you know, you got to figure that one out. That's a whole, you know, can of worms in itself. But it's easy to pass through. But the drivers are hard, right? And AMD has the opposite problem, what I've been hearing, at least on Proxmox, where it's hard to pass through, but the drivers are easy, you know, so, because they don't care if you virtualize it, where NVIDIA does. But yeah, glad it's working. KT Aula, love your YouTube content. Thank you so much, appreciate it. PC Geek, it's good, looks super sharp, better than before, I think. All right. So I'm glad I reformatted. It had nothing to do with it. I kind of know what it was. I had a couple of filters on it. One wasn't working the way it should have worked, and I removed it. So awesome. T to the Q. Yeah. I already answered that. Iru, the I can't even say that. Iru, the developer. I finally get to catch you on live stream. Love your content. Hey, thanks so much. Thunderstorm. My chat disappeared. That's why the same 2 questions. Sorry about that. No worries. Yeah, I don't blame you at all. I blame Twitch 100% for not having persistent chat. I mean, Mixer did this when Mixer was around, and it was pretty good. You know, you could scroll, you could join a new channel, scroll up a little bit, and kind of, you know, get the context of what's going on. Not on Twitch. I guess they only allow mods and channel owners to see history. I wish everyone would have history. I mean, my screen gives you a little bit of history, but yeah, not real history where you can explore. So anyways, no worries there. Hey, Flig. Flig. I'm going with Flig. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Have you ever tried adding Windows container workers to your Rancher instance? So Marcus McMarcus. Have I ever? No. So have I ever? No. So it's funny because like I think later last week, I was looking into Windows Nano, and you know, Windows Nano is Microsoft's very, very small version of Windows that's trying to, you know, compete with Linux. And they provide a container, Microsoft does. They provide lots of Docker images that allow you to run stuff, but it only runs on ESX, or only runs on top of the same operating system as the host. And I know that's not exactly what you're talking about, but you know, I don't have any Windows machines that are Kubernetes nodes that are running Rancher. Is it possible? Absolutely. That's why Rancher was going after that from the beginning, because they want you to run Kubernetes on any platform, whether it's Windows, Mac, Linux, whatever. And the same goes for Windows. So I could, in theory, yeah, I could get a Windows machine. I could install Kubernetes on it, or Rancher, deploy Rancher to it, and manage it that same way. And then deploy Windows pods to it. Using any you know, whatever Microsoft container I want, or Windows environment container I wanted to it. So I haven't done it. Sounds cool. I need a good use case for it. Everything seems to come out on Linux that works for me, and I'm like, okay, I'm staying, you know, in a homogeneous environment until I can't anymore, or until I get this thing built. But yeah, good to know. Mr. Obi. Oh, that looks a little bit better. Mr. Obi, I'm going with that. A little easier to edit the Twitch streams. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. A Rampon tool. Man, so many interesting names. Love it. Running pfSense on Proxmox VM. Need to figure out how to reach Proxmox if I shut down pfSense VM. Don't ask me why. So you're running Proxmox on a VM. Need to figure out how to reach Proxmox if I shut down pfSense VM. Yeah, that's tough. Static IP. That's how I did it. And so, but then I had one NIC still. So I had many NICs going to my Proxmox host when I was virtualizing pfSense. And so, you know, I still had one NIC that was dedicated to management of Proxmox, and that had a static IP, and that was connected to my switch. And that's how I did it. And that's why my Proxmox forever was a static IP. Because, you know, if you virtualize your router and you reboot, you lose, you know, not only internet, you lose DHCP, you lose DNS, you lose all that stuff. So that's what I would suggest, is either put another NIC in there if you have one. If it has an onboard NIC, use that, but dedicate one to management, and then plug that directly into your switch and have that be your direct management port. Let all your other ports be for other things. You should be good. Should be good. If you have a switch. If you don't have a switch, you need a switch. Why wouldn't you? Let's see. Cycles. Any idea on how I can run an AMD-based OS on an ARM system? No, I don't. Wow. AMD-based OS on an ARM system. I don't. What OS would that be? Yeah, let me know, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's funny. I was thinking about that same other. Yeah, I was thinking of something similar earlier in Discord. I think it was yesterday or the day before when Manny posted the AMD gaming handheld. That was the Windows PC. I was trying to think like, wow, you know. Anyways, totally not related, except for AMD's involved. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, what do you mean by AMD OS? Because you know, arguably Windows can run on AMD. You know, because you're mixing a processor brand with an operating system, and not even architecture type. Well, and then you're saying on an ARM, so then it's mixing in architecture, CPU architecture. But ARM, you have limited choices for operating system. Raspbian, which we're probably going to install here in a little bit, is what I do. Let's see. That's not to me. Stigfinito. Hello, Tim. Do you have any advice when working with TrueNAS? Something that you have found after all the time you've been using it. Stigfinito. Yeah, just general advice about TrueNAS. Yeah. I mean, that's a tough one. Like it's a great solid product. There are, a couple bugs in TrueNAS that they've already fixed or are addressing. It's kind of weird right now that they have an alpha, please do not install this update out in a public channel right now. So my Proxmox, every time I see it, it's like an update's available. I'm like, sweet. And I go to almost click it, and it's like, do not install this. This is beta. I'm like, I'm not on the beta channel. Anyways, maybe that's a bug or maybe something I did wrong. Anyways, I think my only advice there, what I've learned is that unless you want TrueNAS to be your all-in-one, your hypervisor, your containerizer, I'm going to throw Izer on everything, your storagizer, that doesn't make sense. Only use it for what you need it for. And unless you're going all-in-one, the old school small business type where it's going to be one server that does everything. I think what I learned was, okay, well, I'm going to pick and choose only the things I really need to do there. And the things I only really need to do there, or the things that TrueNAS does really well for me, is storage. And so I just use it for network attached storage. So what does that mean? I use it for NFS, I use it for SMB, I use it for Minio or object storage. And then, I use ZFS on it, and I have a pool, and all of those services are have storage based on that pool. And for me, that's about it. I mean, mine's, a little bit complicated too, because I virtualized it, and I have an HBA controller I pass through to it, and that's connected to a disk shelf, but none of that really matters because it's rock solid. And so, no advice other than, pay attention to when disks throw errors. When they throw errors, address it. For me, sometimes that means just taking it out and putting it back in and resilvering, which probably isn't the best thing. But, every now and then I've noticed it. I don't know whose fault it is, but every now and then I have had disk errors, but recently I haven't. So anyways, yeah, that's probably not the greatest advice, but that's kind of how I use it. No real, great nuggets of information other than, I use it for storage, and, I use ZFS, and I use different types of storage and services. But other than that, it's rock solid. Real quick, the other derf, dude, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. Dude, thank you so much. And real quick, creature next. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Wow, lots of questions. I'm gonna get caught up because I do want to do something though too, but I want to make sure I address these. I shouldn't have scrolled. Why did I scroll? There we go. Do you prefer a separate prod and dev environment, different projects or clusters? Good question. M155U. Great question. I could spend a lot of time on this, but I will say that, that's going to be up to you. So I think what you're asking is, do I have different environments for projects or clusters and stuff like that? What I see a lot of companies do in public cloud or private enterprise, environments is they either have multiple clusters or they have multiple namespaces. Every one that I've been a part of so far has just used namespaces. And they use namespaces for environments. So default is going to be pretty much your prod because, the default, namespace, that's what people start on. That's what they start experimenting on. Maybe it's not going to be, but most people have, their prod namespace is default. And then after that, QA, staging, dev, whatever you want. And that's the great thing about namespaces is that, it does, so it doesn't 100% separate everything. It separates DNS, and that's an important distinction to make because you could still route traffic between those environments. So it's going to be up to you to then do a little more work to totally, segment those namespaces with a Kubernetes network policy or Istio or something else, so that your QA services don't accidentally talk to your prod services. That's all solved if you choose another cluster, right? Because then it's a whole entire network and you'd have measures in place there. But if it's namespaces, technically they could still communicate with each other. It's just they'd have to know what the names were of those pods in those different namespaces. It's really simple to do. But, why would someone choose to do that? Well, it's a lot less management. It's a lot less management if you have one Kubernetes cluster and namespace everything. It's one set of kube control. It's one set of a lot of things. And then switching namespaces is pretty easy. So a lot more management if you go multi-cluster. But you have, 100% separation of concerns for the most part, maybe shared infrastructure. And then if you go multiple namespaces, you don't have 100% separation of concerns because you have shared now Kubernetes infrastructure, but you don't have to manage a whole entire another cluster and have a different process and everything in place for that. So anyways, yeah, great question. Skrillaflex. Having trouble getting pfSense to point to my Pi hole. I have the DHCP server pointing to the Raspberry Pi address, but not all the queries are seen in the Pi hole dashboard. Yeah, that's not good. I mean, do you have a secondary DNS and maybe some of those are going there? I'm trying to think about what I have in place to make sure that, my queries all end up there. I mean, I have 2 Pi hole servers and I use Gravity Sync to keep them in sync. But I mean, they should be. Like, where else are they getting DNS then? I mean, maybe some of the clients do they have, is it all DHCP? Are you sure if you looked at the clients that they, their primary and secondary DNS are set to that Pi hole instance? I know you said you have pfSense pointing at it, so they should all be going there anyways. Haven't run into that. If DNS for me is down or if they can't resolve anything, they do not communicate with anything. TFO Phillips, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. I'm gonna look for mentions really quick, only because I wanna try something too. But real quick, I'm gonna look for mentions and we're gonna switch something a little bit. I'll still absolutely answer questions. Just gonna switch the scenery a little bit. I'm watching you on what I call the best of the best setup. I have 3 screens set up, 2 screens connected to Windows 10 PC, and a 3rd monitor connected to Proxmox. VM running Kubuntu with GPU pass-through. Nice. I used to be a huge Kubuntu fan. I use Barrier to share the mouse and keyboard, and Linux VBand script to send audio with my voice meter Banana. It acts like one PC experience, except that I can mouse over the monitor for three for some in-depth terminal work, which I find is easier in Linux. Nice. That sounds like an awesome setup. Yeah, that sounds fantastic. That you figured all that out and stitched it all together. I mean, I have 3 monitors here, but they're all going into the same machine. But basically what you have is almost like 3 machines. And you have almost a continuum KVM that as you move the mouse, it's actually switching across different systems. So awesome. Thanks for sharing. Eru. It was meant to be the only Eru, but Twitch wants 5+ characters. All right. Eru the developer. Deep Dragon, Twitch has so many issues with so many things. I'm literally right now working on my in-between service because Twitch doesn't use the actual OIDC standard for those break libraries. Yeah, a lot of issues with Twitch with their APIs and stuff like that, and signing into Showbox. Hey, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Prime sub. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've had, I do some Twitch API development too, and, they're in between about 4 things right now, and it's tough. I mean, on the developer side too. I mean, I think they're getting hit from all angles, but, they're decommissioning some of their old APIs. They have new APIs, and they're supporting webhooks, and at the same time, supporting some WebSocket stuff too. And the list goes on and on and on. I think they're trying to figure out what their architecture is supposed to be when they grow up. And they're going to hate me if they hear that. But I do. It's super confusing. I have 15 ways to do one thing. Well, to do one thing, I have to go through 4 APIs sometime. And it's like, really, guys? Can't you have one REST API and maybe one webhook or one WebSocket? Just pick 2 architectures and I'd be fine with it. But they're, and they've been growing a ton. And this is an ever-changing, field for them. I mean, look at, look at who their competition is for video and for APIs and stuff like that and doing interactive streams. Interesting. Do you prefer separate? We answered that. I can watch in 1080p 60 frames per second. All right. Usually people complain about that. I only have 1080p 60 frames per second, so I'm glad to see someone's okay with that. And for upgraders, you can't run AMD-based OS on ARM-based. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going. Different arcs. Yeah, I was totally going there too, man. I agree. I was a little bit confused by that, but if you have some clarification, I'll answer what I can. Ram Potao. I'm glad a static IP dedicated to Proxmox on a dedicated NIC works. I have Proxmox on a static IP, but I'm not using the spare NIC I have. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. That's how I ran mine for years. I had the same problem. But my Dell R710 had 4 NICs on board, 4 gigabit NICs quad, so I had lots to choose from. So I'm like, ooh, this one's going to be dedicated to management only, and the other 3, I was just like, I don't know. What do I do with those? I started passing those through to individual virtual VMs thinking I would get like better performance and all this stuff. It ended up being a nightmare. Which, yeah, I could get more lanes if I dedicated them, but it ended up being a management nightmare. So I'd recommend against that. If you have extra NICs on your server, don't pass them through just to pass them through, because one day, VMs and stuff like that, shifting them around, you won't remember what's plugged into where, which ones, what the Ethernet is called in Linux, and it's super confusing unless you can manage that. I was terrible at that. Just like pull it out and like, is it still on? I still do that sometimes today. Even on my Switch today, I did it earlier today, even though I have my Switch ports labeled. I'm like, one of my Switch ports was labeled, not your PC. I kid you not your PC. But then I figured it out. I'm like, oh yeah, it's not my PC. I was totally right. It's the worst label ever. But it's in my office. I have 2 Ethernet ports. One is my PC. The other is not my PC. And so the bell went off. But anyways, yeah, you guys are probably way better at it than I am. If we understood it, it makes sense. Well, adding Iser to everything. Yeah. Iser. All right. I'm making words up. Really quick, I'm going to look for mentions because I want to make sure I address what you guys say. But at the same time, I want to show you, maybe you guys can help me build something, because I've done this a few times in my life, but never done PoE stuff on Raspberry Pi. I think it's pretty cool. Info upgrades. I'm not a big fan of KDE, LOL, so I never used Kubuntu. I was a fan back in the day of KDE. I thought it looked more modern. And when I say back in the day, I mean, I'm talking like 2005, 6, 7. Some of you probably weren't even born yet, youngins. But when I used it then, I thought, wow, this is so sleek and so modern. It looked different from a lot of things I was used to seeing. So I liked it back then. But yeah, I haven't used KDE or Kubuntu in a long, long time. Oh wow. Kublai, I got this one. Kublai Kahan. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. How you doing? Sorry, Twitch documentation. There have been a ticket open, update 2 lines in the docs for 10 months. Yeah, 2 lines. Yeah, I hear you, man. I know they got a ton going on. Yeah, and yeah, I could talk about Twitch support. They were actually kind of nice to me a few times. I mean, not that they were ever mean, but a couple times on one of my APIs, I was like, hey, need some more tokens. Can I get an exception? And they did. They were like, yeah, sure. It was like, whoa, how many times does that happen when you're getting 429s, too many requests, and you're doing everything you can do, but you just have a lot of, you have a lot of requests you need to make. And they were like, yeah. And I think I got on some kind of allow list where I got an extension. So yeah, not all bad there. Jimmy, thoughts on living and working in Silicon Valley, the pinnacle of software engineering? Jimmy, yeah, good question. Have I considered it? Sure. Am I good enough? I don't know. That's questionable. I have friends that work at big companies out there, small companies out there. And at the same time, a lot of people are moving back, to the Midwest. The cost of living is crazy high there. I mean, you guys hear it all the time, but it is crazy high. Like you can't ever, if you're a young professional, you go there, you work, you make some money. I'm generalizing. There's probably people that work Silicon Valley in this channel, but I'm just generalizing. You go there, you work, you make money, and you make good money. You pay high rent. But it's not a place where people can settle down. If they want to start a family or whatever, it's tough. You got to rent. And so a lot of people I've seen have stayed there their 4 years or how long till they're vested, either jump to another one or come back. And it's especially with the pandemic now, I mean, proving that, hey, we can hire and get talent from anywhere. And so have I ever considered it? Sure. But I grew up in the Midwest. I mean, Minneapolis isn't my home city, but I love it. Love the city. I think it's good here. I don't know. I think tech in Midwest is growing. And it's a lot more affordable here. I mean, it's pretty expensive where we're at, generally, relatively speaking, for the Midwest. But at the same time, it's nowhere near East or West Coast, So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I work for a small startup right now that I really enjoy, and I work with friends, and been there since very early. So I love it. I enjoy it. But have I considered it? Sure. Yeah. Have I interviewed at places? Yeah. But it was a while ago. But I don't know. It's never off the table. But yeah, I mean, those are all things like if you ever consider going out there, things you'll have to take into consideration. I have other friends that are there. Love it. Absolutely love it. Love the weather, love the culture, love the companies they work for. And I'm not saying anything bad about them. But the people I've seen come back from out west, those are the things that I've heard is usually cost of living or starting a family or want to be closer to a family. It's usually family stuff. A lot of people from that area aren't from that area, so they don't have a lot of family there. So their friends and their circle of friends become, almost like family. But at the end of the day, if you end up having kids, it's sometimes nice if those kids know their grandparents or know their cousins. And so I don't know, speaking from other people's experiences that I've seen, but yeah, not off the table. Looked at it before. Do you have any experience or advice on running your own GitLab or Git instance? Not yet. No, I've run my own GitLab runners. Haven't run my own Git. I've been using hosted GitLab for years, since I even understood that they did source control and DevOps or CI/CD. But do I have any experience or advice? No. I hear that GitLab is super easy to spin up on Docker. I hear the same thing about Git. And if you do GitLab, you're going to get your runners. So you're going to get your CI pipeline too. So not only your source control and your project management, but you're also going to get, your runners for CI. If you go the Git route, which a lot of people have, it's a super popular choice, you're going to get source control and you're going to get your project management piece. Then you're going to have to, choose your CI/CD pipeline. So your automation, your workflows. And a lot of people choose Drone for that. And Drone is, I love Drone. Drone's almost 100% exactly like GitLab Runner. The YAML you write looks exactly like it. I think, maybe it's tiny syntax, tiny difference in syntax, but other than that, the idea is exactly the same. But yeah, so those are kind of your choices. Do I have any advice? No, I'd say, just treat it with a little bit more caution than you would just a normal Docker instance. I would say go Docker only because your upgrades are going to be easy. Your rollbacks are going to go easy. I should say go with containerization. However you do that is up to you. And, your product might, your engine might not be Docker, but containerize it. I would recommend. I've seen lots of positive experience about people running it in a container. Either way, I'd say go container, because going into, once you go into, installing on a VM, it just opens up a whole lot of possibilities that maybe otherwise wouldn't happen on a container. Like, apt update, you go apt update for something else or install something else. Now it updated dependency for GitLab and you broke something. And so, all the reasons why you containerize something, I guess that's my only advice. If you're going to self-host your source control, your CI/CD pipeline or anything like that, containerize it 100%. D3 Mario, thanks for follow, appreciate it. I'm going to look for mentions because real quick, Home Lab New, I can assure you, you are good enough for absolutely anywhere. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. I don't know. I don't know. I've interviewed at places and they've said no. So I've gotten denied at places too, and it's totally okay. And I understand why. It made me grow as a person and as a developer to understand. So I appreciate it. But it's just part of the territory. I mean, and out there, I mean, you're going against the best of the best. You know what I mean? The best of the best. You know, it's the competition's tough out there. But at the same time, all those companies are growing too. They recruit heavily too from Midwest. You know, they do because they know, and they'll pay for relo and everything. It's crazy. They're like, okay, yeah, you need a relocation package and yada yada yada. Yeah, no problem. It's like, wow, these companies, and if you think they're doing that for thousands of people, it's, man, companies out in Silicon Valley have a lot of money. Techno Tim, working with people you get along with is key. If you jump ship, could be a good opportunity, but the people you work with make it is miserable. Experience that myself. Yeah, I 100% agree. 100% agree. You can love everything about technology you're working on, but if the team you're working on isn't what you're looking for or expected, yeah, I totally agree. 100%. 100%. Yeah, more about the people than the company. I totally agree. Git T is lighter weight. There you go. Yeah, actually, my Git T is Turnkey's Linux. Git T ISO. Nice. Yeah, good call. Yeah, Turnkey Linux or anything like that too. Yeah, anywhere. Yeah. So however you get it installed, that you're not doing, apt-get install Git T. And not that it wouldn't work. That command specifically probably wouldn't. But you want to be careful about local dependencies on a virtual machine. And that's what containerization does. It abstracts or removes all those dependencies. It doesn't remove them totally, but it ships those dependencies with that container. So that if on the host you update, I don't know, name some dependency, whatever, I don't know, CMake or C++ or whatever, name your dependency. If you update that, or Java, you don't have to worry about breaking Java within that container because it's using the Java in its container. And that's what you want to try to prevent. And so that's why I say, yeah, use some kind of containerization technology because, that container will contain all of its dependencies and you don't have to worry about that ever, because they're self-contained. Hence why they're called containers. I don't know why they are. So what's this about a PoE hack? Good segue. So yeah, let's talk. Yeah, let me switch over. Is this even going to work? It's going to work. It's going to work. Oh yeah. Hey, oh man, better suck in my gut. Yeah, so you're seeing kind of a mess right now. So I went through a couple iterations on like, where should I do this? And I had camera set up over there and everything was ready to go on my workbench. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna work out so good. I had a tripod up, cameras up, and then I'm like, oh, how am I gonna talk? Like I hadn't even figured out audio, and I'm like, I don't have wireless audio. I don't have a microphone long enough. I'm not gonna totally redo my mic just to make everything work. So I was like, I'll just kind of do it in this cramped desk space. So this is what my desk looks like. This is what you guys don't see. It's kind of a mess. I cleaned up for you though. Cleaned up a little bit. I have about 12 by 12 working space here, but I think it'll work. I do need to get a drink really quick. It's right here. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. But I'll put this here while I'm here. So I decided, so there's all this talk, you guys know that I do a ton of Docker, Rancher, Kubernetes. I do a lot of other things too, but I do a ton of it. And so one of the questions I've had over the last 2 months is, can I run some of my workloads on a Raspberry Pi? And the answer is yes. Spoiler alert, yes. I haven't gotten there yet, but I know it'll work. We'll make it work. But the question I've always wondered was how would I figure out a multi-architecture environment with Kubernetes? And so I was like, how does that even work? And so I started investigating. Well, one, I was like, I'm going to get a Pi 4. Even if this doesn't work out, I have a Pi 3, I have a Pi 0, I have another Pi 3B somewhere else. I love them. But I haven't gone Pi 4 yet. So I was like, okay, well, I'll get a Pi 4. And if it doesn't work out, then at least I have a better RetroArch gaming platform than I do now. And then I'll do the whole hand-me-down. That one gets decommissioned, does something else. And then that one gets decommissioned and does something else. But yeah, so I've been trying to figure out in my head, hey, how will this work? I kind of have it worked out in my head. I would probably install, I won't get ahead of myself, but high level, I'd probably install a K3S, join this to my K3S cluster. And then as long as you build multi-architecture images or containers, when you do a poll, they should automatically be able to pull the version of container or image that's built for that CPU architecture. So I was like, this might be way easier than I thought, and I've been dreading it for a long time. Like me personally, all I need to do in my own for my own personal code is build more node containers. So I build node, a lot of node images for a lot of my bots and a lot of my other things. But I build them for x86 because I'm like, yeah, it's x86. Like, why would I ever do, anything for ARM? Well, now I can do something for ARM. So anyways, long story short, then I was like, okay, well, I have, if I'm going to get a Raspberry Pi, I have a lot of PoE stuff. So I was like, yeah, why not run this on PoE? I just bought a big old, honking, 24 port PoE switch. Like, why not try to use that? And so I have a backup plan. If that doesn't work, I have USB-C for this too, which they all come with. But anyways, and then I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna do that, like, I'm not gonna buy the 4 gig one. Look, I haven't even opened this up, so I have no idea how this is gonna go. But I ended up getting the 8 gig one. So what did I get? I got the Pi 4 8 gig Raspberry Pi, and so I'm kind of hoping this is gonna be powerful enough. And I will call it a success, even if I could join it to my Kubernetes cluster and add one workload. If I can add one workload and I have a node, if I have our community, Discord bot running on this Raspberry Pi that's in my Kubernetes cluster, I'll call that a success. So, not specifically for the Pico, but have dabbled with Arduino, especially ESP32. ESP32 is really good for IoT, smart home projects, and Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Nice. Yeah, nice. I haven't done anything with Arduino. I had a friend who was all about it because he did music stuff. And I guess it's kind of easy. So anyways, and then I'm thinking of getting the Pico to run some small embedded Rust code on it. Nice. Yeah, Rust is super awesome. So anyways, I just picked up, I was like, well, which one do I get? I kind of wanted the Love Raspberry Pi. And there's so many, not so many, but you have a handful of these that, that people are making. And so I just went with the Kanakit or Kanakit. I don't know. I bought, all my other ones are, I think one of mine's like the official one. But anyways, I haven't even seen one of these in person. So yeah, I figured, hey, why not put one together? So that's what I ended up doing, was buying, a Pi 4. These are super inexpensive for what you get. I did see a ton of comments about the heat spreaders, the heat sinks. Like, people had no idea how to put these on. So I'm sure I'm not going to know how to put these on because they fit on. Well, it's kind of obvious to me. One goes there, one goes there, one goes there. But for whatever reason, people in the comments on Amazon were like, I have no idea where to put these. They don't give any instructions. I should probably zoom that in a little bit. Can I zoom? Can I zoom in here? Oh, yeah, I can. Watch out now. Now you don't have to see my super messy desk. And so, yeah, so it's the 8 gig Raspberry Pi 4. Then I got this PoE hat, and there's like there are quite a few decisions you have to make when you go with a PoE hat. I think there are like 3 or 4 different ones. But I went with the one that's actually going to fit exactly with my case. And so my case, anyways, is I'm a huge fan of the C4 Labs Black Ice ones. I bought it for like my Pi Zeros, my Pi 3, both Pi 3Bs. Have this Black Ice case, and so I got that. And all it is it's just laser cut plastic that you screw together, but it's so nice and it's so solid. So anyways, yeah. Looking at your desk, looking at my desk, looking if yours is messy, oh my God, don't even know what qualifier. Yeah. Don't even know what qualifier would fit for my desk. I did a little bit of cleaning. It was kind of messy. And I think I'm going to figure out something better to a mounting solution for this. But and it's kind of messy. It's hard to avoid though. Like, I have so many wires and so many connections, like my Stream Decks here, GoXLRs here, 1,000 wires back here. I have 4 dongles for my MacBook Pro. You can't even see my MacBook Pro. It's underneath my 3rd monitor. And so, yeah, it's kind of messy. And the worst part about it is, like, working in like this is the only free space I have. Like, it's like 12 by 12. But anyways, like, I think this should be pretty straightforward. Like, I've added GPIO pin stuff before. Like, the LED panel I have behind me it has GPIO pins. So yeah, it should be pretty straightforward. But I have no idea, like this. Like, look, there are like all kinds of screws and stuff in here, and I'm thinking it's just gonna like sit on top, but I don't know. I know that PC Geek, he's a huge fan of reading the manual later. I kind of am too. But I feel like in this situation, I should probably read the manual first. Although, like, it does just go right here, doesn't it? Let me see. I'm gonna just eyeball it real quick. What? I feel like it. Oh, I see. I see what's going on here. Watch me have bought the wrong thing. Wouldn't that be awesome? Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? No way. Oh no, I was like, oh, this is so weird. So if you look at this, so weird. So if you look at the GPIO pins, right? I was thinking like, you know, normally you would hook the, you know, the male and female part go together like this, right? That's what you would think. Like intuitively, you would think, yeah, they just go like that. Well, they don't fit like that because it has 4 more pins off to the side. So I was thinking like, oh, I bought the wrong thing, but no, they come in from the back. The old come in from the back technique. Anyways, well, that was actually a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be. I should move this here so it's a little bit better. But the other thing, like, so I don't know if I got to figure this out, but I don't know if you've seen all the ports. So yeah, USB-C, I think it has 2 HDMI, mini HDMI ports. I think that's what it is. So I could hook up dual monitors if I wanted. But then I realized like, hey, real quick, Roxicles, thanks for the follow, appreciate it, welcome. But anyways, I think you could hook up dual monitors, but then like at last minute I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't buy, you know, adapters for this, and I seriously hope I got the right one. But the nice part about these is if they don't work, they're the same exact adapters I use for my cameras to convert. I think it's from micro HDMI to full HDMI. So anyways, I don't know. I think this thing is awesome. Yeah, dongle for power. We're not going to use that. So it looks like I have to put on the heat sinks like ahead of time. I need better lighting there. Let me see. Let me zoom this in a tiny bit. I have like, this is like so rigged right now. If like this works out okay in the future, I'll totally do a better job. But this was like last minute decision on moving it to here because I had it on my desk before. But here's what I don't understand. Like if I'm going to use this and put this here, do these heat sinks even like fit underneath? So I'm getting worried now. Like, do you really need the heat sinks? Like, has anyone built a Raspberry Pi 4? Sorry, my nose is running. I should have grabbed a Kleenex. But has anyone built a Pi 4? Because like, do you really need it? Like, am I really going to get thermal throttled? Like, I've always put heat sinks on all of my Raspberry Pis because why not? They're awesome. Depends. I use a heat sink. Yeah. iLude, yes, on a 4 you need heat sinks. Well, it came with these. So hopefully this works out okay. It came with these. I just wonder if it's really going to fit underneath this hat. You have a fan. You probably don't need the heat sink, but one or the other is good. All right. You won't need those because you won't need those heat sinks for active cooling. The heat sinks are too tall. That's what I was thinking. Use them. Yeah. I'm totally going to use them. So I'm going to use them if they fit. How about that? But I have a feeling you're right. MN Gap, that they might be too tall. If I can get them out. These things are so tiny. They're cute. Can I say that heat sinks are cute? Like, this one is so cute. Is that allowed? That phrase has probably never been said before. But this one right here is so tiny. You'll probably hear a lot of phrases that you've never heard before after this. But yeah, that heat sink is, I gotta stop saying it, but it is so cute. Anyway, but I have a feeling like this is not going to work. So I assume though a super cute one that's tiny goes here. I'm going to eyeball it. Then I assume this one is going on the CPU because that's the biggest. And then this long one goes here. I don't know what any of these chips are, so I'm using, super technical terms. The long one, the cute one, and the big one. But I think you're right. I don't think this is going to fit on here afterwards. Oh yeah, how do you like that close-up of my hand? Yeah, I think you're right. See, look at that. That's, yeah. Well, all right. So I have active cooling, so I can set these aside. I think you're right. Heat sinks are called, they're called doodads and thingamajigs. All right, I'll use those doodads and thingamajigs. Let me grab my Kleenex really quick. All right, sorry about that. Like, kind of had a cold, not a full-blown cold for like a week. And don't make fun of my tissue. It's really just a hand towel. Okay, so that's not gonna be the greatest solution then. I'm gonna move my keyboard up a little bit so I can rest my elbows. All right, so this is gonna go on here without heat sinks, but I think it'll be okay. But then this guy has a heat sink for himself too. So this Pi Hat, it's cute. I don't. Mine are so gross. Like they're like screenshots of my hands, and I just look at them because I have this weird nervous thing where I peel off all my cuticles. I've done it since I've been a kid. This is totally like behind the scenes stuff, but I've always, since I've been a kid, peeled off all my cuticles. I don't know why, like to where they bleed. And so like I have to force myself not to anymore. Not because it's bad, but because sometimes my hands are in videos and I'm like, no one wants to see bloody hands. Try Ramponto. Try to add all but the CPU one. See if they've had. Yeah, that's a good call too, because yeah, I want to use as many as I can. So let's see. The cute one. And then the long one. But not the CPU one. Oh, yeah, because the CPU goes directly over it. I like where this is going. Is it going to work? Oh, I think you're right. Oh, yeah, I have enough clearance. Totally going on there. Totally going to go on there. I'm going to do it only because, like, I know I probably don't need them. But if I don't use them here, I'm not going to use them anywhere. Yeah, good one. Yeah, I like that. Like that. Cute Pi heatsink t-shirt now, yeah. And it's going to be the tiniest heatsink. Like, this is like a heatsink that would go on one of those, like, little roly-poly bugs. It's so tiny. That's what I would think. Like, I would put this heatsink on, like, a ladybug, and it would just fly around. And this is getting weird. All right, well, I'm gonna attach it here. Sorry. I have no nails either, so yeah, it's probably TMI, but I bite my nails and tear off my cuticles. Okay, so I'm going to go with this way. All right, let me make sure it's centered before I go beast mode and push it down way too hard. All right. All right, cute one is now being fused. Volko, how much taller is the CPU heatsink than your clearance? Could try to sand it down if you have a belt sander. No, funny you mentioned that. Someone mentioned that on Amazon. Like, hey, you could just sand it down. Unfortunately, I don't have any tools like that. I mean, maybe I could one day because taking the hat back off at some point will be super easy. And you know what? Let me grab another light because this is way too dark. Give me 10 seconds. It's right here. I'll be right back. All right, there. Now you can see. Man, that is so much better. At least it looks better to me. There's no lack of light in this room. I have so many lights. Okay, so the question was like, hey, could I possibly sand that down? I probably could, but I don't have a sander. Like, I don't have any big boy tools. I just have like cordless stuff. That's not the greatest. But yeah. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Now I'm totally wrong. Okay. The small heatsink goes on the USB controller chip. Is that The VLI one? See, I didn't look at any of these instructions. So I'm assuming it's that one. All right. Well, you know how we'll fix that? We'll just take it off. And we'll act like you didn't even see that. This is why people complained on Amazon about lack of documentation. Hold on. Let me press this on here. All right. Now the cute one. Now the cute one's in the right place. I should stop calling it the cute one. But it is. It's a weird light angle, but you could just rub it back and forth as, on sandpaper on top of a bench. Yeah, I don't have any of that here. I will definitely look at ways to get this smaller, because it's a really, I assume it's like aluminum, like it's a really soft metal, or it feels like a softer metal, but I'm not sure. I should totally do that. All right, now the long one. I'm assuming the long one goes here. It's aluminum. All right. Yeah, I totally could. It feels aluminum. It's so soft. So yeah, I don't know what any of these chips are. I'm just going to start attaching stuff until you guys are like, yeah, you're putting it on the wrong one. So let's see. I should have researched this before, but I wanted to be like, I totally wanted to go into this not knowing anything about it. I mean, you know, I've assembled Raspberry Pis. I've soldered stuff before, but to be honest, I haven't looked at the diagrams. I don't know what the chips are. And I couldn't tell you where the heat sinks go. I was going to eyeball it. And so that's why I'm so glad you're here. Because I obviously eyeballed it wrong. 80 grit should do it then. I'd use 120 to smooth out the rough edges. Yeah, I think I have both of those pieces of those grit sandpapers in my basement from just projects. That might be a little bit too rough, but I could totally find it. Yeah, that's a good point. I see a trip to Harbor Freight for files and a vise. Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, because if I had a vise and a file, it'd make quick work of this for sure. So I'm assuming the long one goes here. I don't think I can mess this up until you guys look at it and you're like, dude, that's totally in the wrong place. Just wing it. Best way to do anything. I agree. You know, there's sometimes when I kind of need to read the instructions, but I wing a lot of stuff. Believe it or not, a lot of my, I won't go into too much detail. Some of my videos I totally wing, and it's probably obvious where I didn't write anything down but a high level outline. But anyways, the long one goes on your helmet next to your power sander. Yeah. Oh, the pair of ice grips would be easy way to hold to it. Yeah, good call. From the picture on Google, does the direction matter? I don't know. I think that's right. Does that look good? I think that looks pretty good. You can't even tell I accidentally put that one in the wrong place. Live and learn. I totally agree. All right, so the hat has its own heat sink too. But I have no idea where this one goes. I'm not going to read any instructions because, well, I should. It's right here. And this one has, I mean, the screws that I screw in are pretty obvious. But this one says to put the hat or the heat sink nowhere. Well, these were pretty much pointless. I think once the heat's up, they bond better. Oh yeah, good call. So this one comes with a black heat sink. I'll take it out now. So the PoE hat comes with the black heat sink. I got to be careful with these screws. I usually have a little dish that I put screws in because I don't want to lose them. But let's see, like, I'm not entirely sure where this one goes. I mean, I have very few options. If you were me, where would you put this heatsink? Like, I don't even know what this is. This is a very, very highly technical stream. But I have no idea. I'm just going to wing it. That's a regulator. All right, I'll go with it. That sounds good to me. The only chip I see that it could possibly go on, are they maybe giving me, no, that doesn't make any sense. So there's like underneath, come on, focus, buddy. There we go. This is what it looks like underneath. All right. No idea. Yeah, it did come with standoffs. Yeah, good call. Oh, I see what you're saying now. I think I know where you're going with the standoffs, because if I have standoffs, then Well, I don't know if I'll get more height. And here's the front of the device. So kind of like, does it go there? That's way too big. That's square peg in a round hole right there. Maybe it goes on the CPU because the normal one doesn't fit. That's kind of what I was thinking too. But then Thunderstorm, when you mentioned standoffs, I'm like, okay, am I going to get some more height out of this thing? Which I should probably attach that, the standoffs, and instead of just guessing. But I kind of like guessing. I like not knowing. I don't know. Sometimes like I enjoy when at work or with friends, like we don't have mobile devices or phones because no one can Google something really quick and tell you what the answer is. So then a lot of people speculate on what the answer is, or you just have a healthy debate, and I totally miss that sometimes. Because I enjoy being wrong, but sometimes I like exploring being wrong and why I'm wrong. And most of the time, there are people are like, "No, I just Googled it. You're totally wrong." I'm like, "Okay, but what if I wasn't?" And hypothetical. Anyways, it's supposed to go on the Pi itself, probably for one of the chips that's not actively cooled. Oh, good call. Because now my net whatever chip, I'm probably what am I trying to say? Something on the Pi now is going to be getting a lot more power than it used to because power is going to be coming from the NIC now, whereas it didn't before. Good call. All right, well, I'm going to look at this instruction booklet really quick, and you tell me. Single Ethernet cable. You will need a PSE, power supply equipment, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. So UCtronics, uctronics.com is where this thing is from. And they say nothing. Let me grab a drink. All right, well, should we look? Should we cheat and look at uctronics.com? I think it's uctronics. Is it a low profile heatsink for CPU? You owe me a Coke. Wouldn't the heatsink go on the CPU based on how the fan is directly underneath, or am I way off? Wouldn't the heatsink go? I think so, but it's really small, so it's a little bit shorter. It is a little bit shorter. I mean, would it fit on here? So you're thinking like, would it just go here instead of using the one that I'm using? Oh, uptime doesn't work. I should fix uptime. I could tell you, 1 hour and 24 minutes. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The only reason why I want to make sure that this is flush is because the case that I have actually has a hole for this PoE hat to where it's going to fit really snug, like really snug. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. It's still too tall underneath. Where your middle finger was. Okay, let me try this one more time. Okay, that's not going down. Okay, that's too tall. Oh, where my middle finger was. All right, where was my middle finger? Which middle finger? Okay, I'm gonna Google it. Thank you. Silver heatsink is the correct heatsink. Oh, for here? Stop it, donk. Well, this one doesn't work. I mean, it's too tall. So if I put the hat on, this one's too tall. And yeah, let me see. Let's go to I think it's UCtronics. Goes on the chip next to the 330 thing in the hat. That's what I was thinking too. Wow, you got good eyes if you can read that 330 on here. But this chip is so tiny on the hat itself. That's what I was thinking too. But this, like I was saying earlier, this kind of feels like, square peg in a circle hole because it's just so big. I saw a pic. All right. I totally believe you. But trust but verify, right? UCtronics? Trust but verify. What's the model number on the hat? Yeah, great question. Like, Tim, why don't you tell these people things? The model is U6110. Yeah, you guys have great eyes. It's a voltage regulator. 330 is a regulator, which usually those can get hot. Oh man, I'm going to start my house on fire. I'm looking really quick. You know what? I have this all decked out now. Not totally decked out. That work? No. I'm on which scene? We're going with, and then monodon. Boom. Yeah, I got this down now. I mean, literally, you don't need a heatsink if you're not doing serious heavy tasks. You know, I think it's going to end up running Kubernetes. And that might be a lot for just this little thing. I mean, I won't have tons of workloads on it. On the looking at the same Amazon hat link, on a voltage regulator, you might depending on how much voltage is coming on the input side. Yeah, I'm so glad you guys know this stuff. Raspberry Pi, camera, no. USB, no. Pi accessories, maybe. I think that is. None of the other ones seem like it. Come on. Come on. This search. PoE? That's not exact. Here we go. Here we go. I think I found it. Show me the money. Where's your heatsink? If you do like 12 or more, get a 3.3 regulator. It gets hot. Okay, yeah. I burned myself on it once. Yeah, that is not good. I do not want to burn myself. All right, come on, people. All right, no one is telling me where the heatsink goes. Maybe they just threw it in. I'm just gonna wing it. Do I wing it, or do I look on Amazon? Look up yeah, there we go. All right, 6109. What 60? Is that a different model? It goes on the bottle cap of the IPA you're about to open. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. I'm gonna go here. But it's is there another model? Because I have the. Oh yeah, see here's the other model you were talking about. So this is the 6109. Different model, but has the heatsink. Oh, I see. Yeah, and it goes right next to this guy. I see. So that's what we're gonna do. Even though this one does not show that, let's assume it goes on this guy right here. That's what I'm thinking. Good call. That's what we'll do. I mean, otherwise, I'm just not really gonna put it on. So I gotta put it on somewhere. I mean, we need to get some value out of this. Let's see. Oh man. Oh, the tape. Come on. It's like the one time that I, come on, buddy. How annoying is it, like, trying to watch me pull this off without destroying the sticky pad? There we go. Oh, there we go. Come on, yeah. The manual doesn't look like the heatsink in the parts list. Yeah, I agree. Maybe they just have a generic, like maybe this little parts bag, this little this little dime bag right here, this little bag, is just, they ship them with all their models, and they're just like, well, maybe we'll give away a couple extra heat sinks, but maybe not. Maybe it was an addendum. Yeah, I'm gonna stick it right here on here, because hey, why not? I mean, like, yeah, let's cool this guy off too. Because I mean, pretty sure they don't have a heatsink because it's so flush with the fan. Sometimes stuff is caught during ISO audits, and they start putting them in every box. Little dime bag, yeah. Like what? Yeah, whatever. But okay, so that's going on there. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. I mean, if anything, I'll just have a cooler chip that didn't need to be cooled anyways. So let's get this thing on. All right, lots of. Okay, so kind of not. Did they ship me enough screws? Yeah, they did. Okay. So this should be pretty straightforward, I think. I'm totally guessing. Okay, so this hat goes on here. That's easy. But it's kind of scary. Like, so there's this huge gap right here. And like, I don't know how much I press it down. Like, I don't want to. Oh, no. Oh, you know what? Use the standoffs. Well, see, standoffs, it's kind of, I mean, there are screws. I wouldn't call them standoffs, but here's what it came with. A whole 4 screws and 2 like tiny nuts. Man, this thing, we are not off to a good start. Sandwich. It does look like a little sandwich. It totally does look like a sandwich. I'm looking at this, the model really quick and seeing if I can get any hints from there. This is kind of the worst directions I've ever seen. It's like 4 pictures of the thing that doesn't tell you anything. That just says, note, you'll need PoE powered stuff. You need connection from those 4 pins to the front for the PoE to work. So just make sure you have connections if you use the standoffs. Techno Tim, what you'll be using the Pi for? Well, I'm probably gonna start to build a multi-architecture Kubernetes cluster. That's my idea. I already have x86, and so I want to have a couple of ARM devices in my Kubernetes cluster, just in case. If I want to go down to low power mode, if the power goes off, I could have these on a different UPS, which I probably will, and then they could stay on for a little bit longer if they wanted, more than my big server infrastructure. Screw under, here we go. Screw under, stand off between boards. Screw above. I like it. If that'll even work, cause look. All right, this is I guess I should have researched this thing before. I figured, hey, it's a hat. I've done Pi hats before. Thought it would have been a little bit, I guess, more straightforward than it currently is, because it's not. Sandwich the nuts in between. All right, let's sandwich the nuts in between. But okay, I'm gonna. Oh, I see. Yeah, you guys are on it. Sandwich the nuts in between. What do you think of prod Postgres database in K3s? Yeah. How bad do you want to hurt? No, I'm kidding. Real quick, sandwich the nuts in between. I like it. I like where this is going. That totally gets the point across. Yeah. Totally. Thank you, guys. Words to live by. But what do I think of prod Postgres? Postgres SQL. Give me 1 second while I at least kind of concentrate on just getting this one piece in, because if I lose this one bolt, it'll be a short stream. Because then I won't have the standoff. But what do I think? I mean, I think it's fine. It really just depends on. It depends, like how much, how many transactions are going through that database. Are you going to have it clustered? You probably should. It just all depends. I mean, if you ask purists, or DBAs, I shouldn't say that they're purists, but people who, manage databases, full time for their job, they would probably recommend against it. And I see why. There are a lot of valid reasons why you wouldn't, either performance or complexity. But I don't think it's wrong. I think you can make it work totally. A lot of databases run fine in Kubernetes, and a lot of people do it. I run mine, but I don't have a ton of throughput. I probably have a couple hundred requests a minute, maybe 1,000 a minute. Nothing huge. Oh, you guys are so good. Sandwich the nuts in between. Except for that really doesn't fit totally, 100%. So yeah, I think it's totally fine. I try it. And if you have a cluster, throw one server in your cluster or one container in your cluster and try it. Hold up. You need to mount it in the case first. Oh man. Yes, I love it. Thank you guys. SQL on Kubernetes is not fun. Yeah, I bet it's not. It's fun until it's not anymore. And that might be a short period. Hold up. I need to mount it in the case first. I'm going for that. Thank you. At least now I know. I should have prepared for this, but if I would have prepared for this, it would have been a pretty boring stream. It would have just been like, hey, I know exactly what I'm doing. And I would give you that illusion that I knew exactly what I was doing. Okay, so let's pull this out. Hold up, need to mount in the case first. All right, let's pull out the case. I mean, SQL is fine if you need a relational database. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I totally agree. Drew Sky, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. SQL equals someone quit laughing. No. I made it for work before prototyping and cost reasons in the cloud, but Kubernetes is not well suited for managing MySQL. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Techno Tim, are you going to be using a OS that shows temps at least? I think so. I think so. I mean, I hope Raspbian will give me temps of this thing. We'll see. Info upgraders. I feel like you have something like Ansible synchronizing the files to another host too. It would be even more fine. Yeah. If you are doing AWS, depending on how much you need, you don't need to sleep on Aurora. Yeah. Using Postgres, not MySQL. Nice. User interaction. Oh, wait, using Postgres. Yeah, I mean, like any database, I mean, it just depends on how you want to manage them. And another thing you're going to have to think of with, putting databases in containers, like, can they, and the answer is probably yes, but how will they do if a container restarts or stops or anything like that? Because that kind of thing happens in Kubernetes a lot, and services are going to do that, and Kubernetes is capable of handling and starting and stopping that for you. But is your database going to be okay with that? And if it goes down, is there more? Are there more? I built a lot of stateless services where it's like I could flick them on and off all day long, and it wouldn't even matter. Then I have some stateful ones where it kind of would matter. C4 Labs. Oh, what a nice little card. Dustin Hartland, founder. Wow, founder. Thank you so much, buddy. Satisfaction guaranteed. I'm a huge fan, anyways. So these cases are the C4 Labs. They're the laser cut plastic ones. Oh my gosh, this is getting scary though. Laser cut plastic ones, and they're so awesome. Oh, but it takes a while to put these together because you basically got to keep stacking and stacking and stacking until you're done. So I don't want to mess that up. My stack that I have there. I'm using. Let's see. You should use isolated gloves when touching your hardware. Yeah, I forgot my wrist strap thing. Yeah, I'm kind of being tongue in cheek, but I know. There's a lot of static in here too. Volco. I use LM sensor. Cool. For temperatures on Debian, should be available on Raspbian too. Awesome. I might review the stream to remember that tool or ping me in Discord because yeah, I definitely want to see the temps on here for sure. Oh no, it looks like I missed the 6th stream. Oddwest, hey, how's it going? Yeah, just trying to put together this Raspberry Pi with PoE. If I if I would have prepared a little bit more, I might be done, but that's no fun, right? Volco, now that's a sandwich. This is a sandwich. This is definitely a sandwich. So this, I love these C4 Labs Black Ice cases. But I am gonna look at the instructions for this one. But I feel like the sandwich is kind of already in place. To where all I have to do is reverse the sandwich. Huh. So I'm sure you guys want to see the documentation, but it's the Zebra Pi 4 PoE case. This is the case. And so it's basically like we're going to sandwich everything step by step. Build up our sandwich. Keep building up our sandwich. And then we'll put the bun on top. This is everything about this stream. If you were to come into the stream and listen to the audio, you'd be like, is this science and tech or is this food? Or is this just other nonsense? Okay. So, okay. But why did I have to do it first? Oh, there's the standoffs. So I think, no. Those are its own. I'm just going to go for it. I am 100% just going to go for it and figure it out. Because I don't even think I need those standoffs, do I? Because if you look at this documentation, I should probably just pull up the website. But if you look at this step right here, these screws are going to come up through. I'm so not oriented right. So these are screws are going to come up through, which then will go into the Pi. And so the hat is right above there. So interesting. I honestly, I'm not 100% that I even need those standoffs. That might be for if I don't have a case which has it. Techno Tim, try Diet Pi for OS. Super simple interface and all CLI. You're not going to wasting cycles on the GUI. Has K3S launcher installer. Nice. Yeah, I was going to go with vanilla, minimal, Raspbian. Yeah, no GUI for me. Nah, no way. 100%. Well, what I was planning on was Raspbian. I could look at Diet Pi too, but I don't need any additional. I just need plain old Raspbian, and then I was going to do K3S and then join it to my cluster. And then I was going to, I was actually, going to power it up. And then I was going to pull down a workload and see how it did. I do need to do a couple things, though. I mentioned this earlier that I need to build multi-architecture node images for my own custom code because I do want to run my own custom code on this Pi too, just to say I did it. Just be like, I run Kubernetes at home and I have a multi-architecture Kubernetes cluster and I build multi-architecture. This is way too technical. But, build multi-architecture containers that my code runs in and one happens to be running on a Pi. So yeah, I think it's awesome. I got a laser cut plastic case for Raspberry Pi B, one of the OG ones. Yeah, I do too. I have an OG one also. I have one of the original ones for a Pi, I think 2. Awesome. And I even have one on my Pi Zero. That's how much I loved them. I was like, I will pay the same amount, I'll pay whatever, $5 for the case, even though the Pi Zero was $5. I was like, yeah, totally, because I love them. Didn't like it too much. Oh man, I should have read your next comment. Yeah, I think it just depends. This one might get hot. We'll see. If you're doing an AWS, should also look to see if Route 53 as DB suits your needs. Gotta wear your gloves. Gotta wear your Live Strong bracelet. Yeah, totally. Forgot my wrist strap. Yeah, I totally forgot my wrist strap for this one. Yeah, totally. Turns out DNS is a great high availability DB. Measure temp. Thank you. There's there's how I will measure the temp. Info upgraders. One last question. Sorry, my nose is running because I have cold. Sorry, that's probably gross. Do you use a single specific VM for all of your Kubernetes clusters, or do you use Kate's cluster per VM? So the way that let me think about this. So, I mean, my cluster doesn't live on, the way that my Kubernetes works in general is, at least with, a lot of Kubernetes. What am I trying to say? Is that, you have this idea of masters and then this idea of slaves, their terms, not mine, but you can think of it like servers and agents, whatever, workers, however, it's bad language, but it's their term. And so, the masters are responsible for control plane and Kubernetes API stuff, right? And so you can have many of those. And then you have agents or workers, and they're responsible most of the time for running user workloads. For all of those servers, those nodes, so if you ever hear a Kubernetes node, it's just a server. And I know it's confusing, but if you hear node, it means server. Hey, real quick, dude, thank you. Who is that? I got to pull up the right thing because I have like a bajillion things open right now. Stream elements included null. Dude, thank you so much. Resub 3 months. Oh, my Prime sub expired. Let's go again. Dude, thank you so much. Included null. Thank you. Appreciate it. But anyways, so then to get down to your question, which server do you use? All of my servers, whether they be agents or servers or masters or slaves, for me personally, it's always Ubuntu server, and I give them pretty standard specs. I treat them all exactly the same disk space, same core, same RAM, and me, I use K3S, and I add, I either create a role of a master or a role of a slave or an agent to them and join them to the cluster. So to answer your question, I mean, it's they're spread out all over. Kubernetes is spread out across all of those servers. Anyways, that was a really long answer. Hopefully that's what you're looking for. Looks like there aren't any screws to hold the Pi in. Oh yeah, let's get back to this. Okay. Those are for the case. Yeah, so this, all right, all right, let me put this back in here only because when I'm like, well, it's kind of obvious, maybe to you guys, but not obvious to me where these came from. So I just want to make sure that I have screws in the right place. Like I said, usually I have a little jar for these, but I don't now. And so I was thinking, so I have these long posts. So there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 posts. These are going to come through the bottom. This is why I don't think I need the standoffs or can't use the standoffs, because these are going to come through the bottom of this. Could be wrong. Leroy Jenkins, yeah. The nuts for the PoE hat, though, you don't need the sandwich in between. That's what I thought. Wait, let me see. I don't know if we're joking now or if this is real. Okay. They go through the case only. No, they go through the case only. Okay, thought so. The nuts for the PoE hat, though, you don't need to sandwich in between. Yeah, that's what I thought. You're right. It seems like the spaces will not be needed. All right, I think you're right. Try this case and then plant the board to see how she looks. All right, we're doing that. We're going for it. All right, so let's reverse the sandwich. All right, so this was on top. This is what oh, okay. That's just cardboard. This is... okay, that's the next piece. Sorry, I've learned from the other ones, it kind of stinks when you don't do them in the right order, but maybe I'm overthinking it. All right, they have instructions, right? Like, who cares about the order? I do remember, yeah, these weird rubber band things. So these really, really thin rubber bands. We're going for it. Ain't nobody got time for that, for reading and figuring stuff out. We're just going for it. Okay, I feel like I'm getting closer to the top. Oh yeah, these instructions are good. Okay, we're going from the bottom. So this is gonna be the bottom piece. I'm gonna put these here so you guys can tell me when I'm wrong. But I think that this is this piece, and this is on the bottom. And the way I can tell is because those match up. All right, let's peel this off. Man, yesterday was not the day to bite all of my nails off. Oh, there we go. I think as long as you get it kind of started, the rest is kind of okay. Here we go. Peeling this off. Yeah. Next time I do this, I'm going to figure out if I ever do this again. I'll have a little bit better situation than I have now. The lens that I have on there isn't the greatest lens. It's like the kit lens. That's why I have to shine extra light. I don't know, a whole bunch of video jargon, but I wish I had another wide angle lens maybe at some point. But then you would see really how messy my desk is. All right, we're getting this. All right. Look at that. Boom. All right, so this is on the bottom. And this goes this way. Now these 4 posts are going to come up through the bottom. Do I have something that's kind of like a dish? I don't know. I'm gonna do this just so I don't lose all of these. All right, there we go. All right, so 4 posts coming up from the bottom like this. There's 1. There's 2. There is not enough room up here, but we'll make room. There's 2. 3. All right. 4. All right. I'm way behind in comments, so I'm gonna let this thing auto scroll, and I apologize if I miss it. But if I pause it, then I'm way behind because I never even get caught up. Maybe dumb question. What can you do with the PoE Pi? What is it good for? Oh yeah, great question. Maybe I didn't explain that at all. The nice part about a PoE Pi is that I will get power over Ethernet. So I have a PoE switch, which will deliver power just by plugging in the Ethernet cable. So I don't need to use a power cable, the USB-C power, because I have a switch that will deliver PoE power. So I just plug in a network cable, it'll get network and power in the same cable. So it's, yeah, That's pretty awesome. And I know the hat was $20, but I was just kind of like, well, I'm going to pay like $5, $6, $8, $10 for the power adapter. I got a kit. But normally you're going to pay around $8 for the USB-C power adapter. So I was like, okay, well, yeah, I don't know. A little bit more and I don't have to worry about that. But you still have the option to too. So it's not mutual exclusive. You could still use USB-C if you like. Yeah, one less cable. I totally agree. And I have to justify that PoE, 24-port PoE switch. No, I'm kidding. Oh yeah, good point too. You can power cycle it if you remove it too. Yeah, very good point. On my Switch, when I reboot my Switch, I have the option to power cycle all the devices that are connected. So that's really cool. Because when I say yes, what that does is it'll power cycle all of the ports, so all the machines connected to it shut down, and then it comes back on. So it's really cool. It's nice for my access points, and it'll be nice for this too. And I have nice for all my cameras. So anytime I'm just like something's not right, I can power cycle the network switch port from a GUI, and it'll power cycle the device. And it'll come back on. But yeah, great point. Yeah, each port too. Yeah. I just learned that the other day. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so next piece. Such a mess. One day I'll have a bigger desk, but I'm totally fine. Okay, now we're on this step. You tell me what that piece is. The piece looks okay. I'm thinking it's this, but this is black. Oh yeah, it says these instructions. I don't want to be too hard on this guy. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I understand the instructions. The orange piece is what you're currently doing, but it doesn't mean that the piece is orange. The piece is black. Yeah, this guy's, he's figured it out. So anyways. Oh my gosh. Like, all right. If I ever do this again, or if you ever attempt to do this on stream, you should totally pull off any peel you can prior to. Unless you have nails, or unless you're good at this. I am neither. Okay. So then this is going to be stacked on top of here. And it looks like I'm going to keep it facing the same way that they have it. So this indent goes here. It's not too bad. So this, it does take a while to keep stacking this like a sandwich, but at the end of the day, I think it's really awesome. I mean, arguably, hey, Yama Yukari, and that's what I'm going with. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Like, is this going to be the greatest for heat dissipation? Probably not. Is plastic the greatest, to dissipate heat? No, it does quite the opposite. It'll probably soak it up, but I think it's fine. I saw some other ones that were aluminum, but, at the end of the day, I don't know. I was just like a huge fan of the C4 Labs company, or just their products. And I was just like, I'm going to keep going with it. All my stuff will match. Not that it matters or they're even in the same place, but okay, the next piece is a clear hook piece. I should totally just pull up the instructions. I'm going to put those, I don't know where. You can run an app to measure charge currents. Difference between the one that came in the phone and 10-foot cable I had. Oh yeah, good call. PoE use one for a twisted pair for power? I think so. I think that's how it is. Because I think the 3 pairs are for everything else and 1 is for power. One of the pairs can deliver power. All right, I'm opening this up off camera so I can refer to it. All right, so we need the hook thing. I think it's this, goes next. No, it is not. It is this guy, the really thin guy. Oh yeah, I think it's this. So then he goes. Oh, I don't want to mess this up because this is. I don't think it is this guy right here. But then again, sorry, I'm like thinking out loud, but only because I don't want to mess this up. Oh yeah, this is it. So there's this super thin, like look how thin and flimsy this is. Like it's kind of scary, but once you get it in there and it's sandwiched in there, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Yeah, so this goes here. All right. All right. We're on level 3. All right. Level 4. No, that was level 4, step 4. Oh, I already messed up. Oh, I didn't mess up. I don't want to say that. So I didn't put the rubber feet on the bottom, but that's an easy fix. It's not an easy fix if you stack this. If you totally stack the whole thing, it sucks. But we didn't put the rubber feet on. So the rubber feet go like this. I think I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit so you guys have a better angle. All right, there we go. That's as good as it's going to get for now. Putting on the rubber feet. Good things come to those who wait. All things take time. Just imagine pouring through cheat code. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes I think, let me see, there's the V, okay. So PC Geek was talking about this earlier too in Discord about how he rarely reads the manual. I'm kind of the same, but sometimes I like partially read the manual. Yeah, I do this with a lot of things. Like I guess I read, 3-4 words in a sentence and I assume I know what the rest of the sentence and or paragraph says sometimes. So that's kind of me with instructions too. Just like, oh yeah, totally. Oh, part 4 goes into part 3. Oh yeah, done. And before I know it, I've done the wrong thing. So I'm almost glad, like IKEA instructions. I know no one likes assembling IKEA stuff, but I'm almost glad there aren't words there because sometimes when I read words, I make way too many assumptions. Okay, let's get this guy. Make it iOS version 2, I guess. I assumed it was Android. That's what I have too. My wife is an instruction reader. I'm the yellow crowd. Yeah, I'm kind of there too. I enjoy reading them sometimes. But other times I make too many assumptions. I'm just like, my comprehension, like if I take the time to read stuff, comprehension is high. Most of the time my brain is like way too far ahead of that. So after I start reading a few words, I start making all kinds of assumptions about what it says. And I'm usually wrong. And I just need to slow down sometimes. Okay, so now we put the pie in. Now it looks like the pie goes in and they don't even say to put the hat on yet. So this one was built specifically for this hat. Man, I almost should have followed this, but this says put this step. All right. So now we're putting in this guy, and then we're putting up the little bar. All right. So move this over here. But it's funny though. When I was younger, I used to really love reading instructions. Like when I would get a new Nintendo game, like my mom would take me to the store. Of course, we would go to the store and buy the Nintendo game, and then she would have to do all her grocery shopping. So I would just open up the Nintendo game and read the whole entire booklet front to back. And one, they had great artwork in instruction booklets. And two, it was like my favorite thing ever because I got to learn all about a game before I even got to play it. And then I made all kinds of assumptions about how the game worked. Houston, we have a problem. Is this how it works? Something doesn't seem right. Does this not go through here? Or does this not use these super long ones? I got in the habit of reading instructions before I start. Something doesn't seem right with this case. Huh. See, I said they go through the case only. Yeah. When in doubt, use a big hammer. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Because this like fits exactly in. Oh, case only. You said it. Yeah, what am I doing? I was like having all kinds of second thoughts and like, I bought the wrong thing. Apollo 11. Yeah, Houston, we have a problem. I was like, dude, I totally bought the wrong pie. No, I need to stop making assumptions. These do not go through those posts. You were exactly right. Yeah. Okay, cool. We're getting there. And now I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to put this little thingamajig. PC Geek's words, not mine. I would peel this on screen, but it's probably not the most entertaining thing. There we go. Trying to get this off. All right, here we go. So this guy, this little IO shield, I think just goes right here. Maybe? All right, I'll pick it up. Oh my gosh, don't want to pick it up. He's the sandwich already, so you can't like undo the sandwich. Oh yeah, I remember this on my other Pi cases. It was like super satisfying to get it in the right spot, but if like you didn't screw it in right afterwards. There we go. Yeah, I just felt the pop. Okay. Yeah, he's doing good. So does that hat need to go in before the... Oh, the suspense. Still need those standoffs. You're exactly right. Oh, yeah, we do. You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Good call. Okay, so there's the IO shield. And you're right. So, yeah, I assume that we were... these posts were actually going to go through the Pi, but they're not. You're right. We still need to sandwich the nuts in between. Okay, so back to sandwiching them. There were 4. Okay, so it's only going to be the back ones. Okay. So let's get this one in here. And then this one in here. All right. Oh. Okay, let me get him started. Just so it doesn't fall out. And then get this one started. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go. I think, all right. Maybe I'll do this first and get him at least partially started so I don't have to have, like, be a contortionist with my hands. There we go. Now let's get this one. Still need those standoffs. Heck yeah, we do. Prediction. Oh man, prediction. I've never seen that up there. I'm scared. Will Tim finish? Oh, predict. Do I get to? Will Tim finish? Will Tim finish before the time's up? How much time do I have? Oh my gosh. Did he start a clock? What's the time's up? Oh my gosh. I love this prediction thing. I have no idea. What's the time? Oh, people are saying no. All right. Are we talking physical build or are we talking the whole build? Let's go with physical. Nah, you guys are running it. I don't mind. Do I get to vote? Oh, this is like, all right, this is a, I got this before. It's just a weird angle. That's pretty awesome. I've never seen the predictions before. All right. All right, come on, guys. Yeah, all right. All right, standoffs. Nuts are partially sandwiched. Now we're gonna full sandwich the other side. That's awesome. I love that prediction thing. Let me close it so I can actually still see what's going on. Nope, mod streamers can't vote. All right, I get it. I'm gonna go with, yeah. All right, Pi has to be on the case with the hat on. Well, first I think. Let me see. I think I got this, because I think you're right. We could have sandwiched it before. All right, there's. No, that's a tight fit. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I'm supposed to put any of these heat sinks on. Because, I mean, I could kind of jam it in there. So here's my problem, the sandwich. Here's the problem. I mean, I could, I guess, put a lot of tension on there. But if you look in here, that's pretty tight. Like, you could see those heat sinks in there. I mean, yeah, let's go for it. I just have a feeling that if this isn't ship it. That's kind of what I feel like. My only qualm with doing that is that at the end of the day, this case, I'll show you. The heatsink is supposed to fit perfectly there, you know. And if this isn't sitting flush where it needs to be, like it's not right now, can I get a good angle of that? Where's the best angle? Is that a good angle? See how that's not flush? That won't fit great then in the case. So I'm beginning to wonder, do I take out the heat sinks? Like it's seriously like a I mean, I'm 5-second decision because I don't have to undo anything. He says pull this hat back off. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I guess I should have read through all the Amazon comments and taken lots of notes. Because the comments are, you know, they're rich, especially with this. I noticed how many comments there were and then how many photos there were of heatsink stuff circled. And I was like, yeah, I should probably pay attention. But now, to myself, I'm just saying, yeah, not going to use them. Ooh, that one's on there good now. Scared to do this. I just need enough pressure in the right place. There we go. Okay. This back on, because if this sits flush now, yeah, it does. Yeah. So no heat sinks. Note to self: if I ever do this again, which I won't, well, who knows? I might build another one. I don't need the heat sinks. There we go. And I can tell already, like it's like it just fits now. Can always add them later. The heatsink issue probably file down. Yeah, good point. Good point. I can do that. I wonder what kind of like tape you use, because now, you know, it's not going to be that sticky. I'm curious, like what kind of tape they use anyways, like that would transfer heat. Do they just put some 3M sticky tape and just hope for the best? It doesn't seem that doesn't seem like a good idea to me. Just for something heating up and then not, you know, melting. Captain tape. It's like 3M thermal tape. Okay. Probably some sort of, probably a thermal pad of some sort. Yeah. Thermal transfer tape. Good call. It's definitely sticky. I mean, I've seen it when they apply thermal tape that is more metal, but this is, I don't know. It just seems like regular, you know, command strip tape to me. I'm sure it's not. All right, come on, buddy. You can tell when it's right because it'll just like snap. Putting the IO plate back on, the IO shield. Almost. I learned with this IO shield, like after you get the audio on, kind of just have to wiggle it. Kind of helps if you have it the right way too. There we go. There we go. All right, that's in. All right, we only have like 5 more pieces. Wiggle just a little bit. All right, so now we're doing the piece that looks like this. It's 2 pieces actually. So it's a little arm. So weird. Okay, so it's gonna be, I think it's this piece. Yep. It's for show, this piece. There we go. All right. And then there's a little wing or an arm, and I think it's right here. And then this guy goes, oh yeah, he holds the IO shield in place. Nice. Bingo, perfect. All right. Moving right along. All right, and then we basically do the same thing again. So we stack another one on top, but this one doesn't have the spacer for the IO shield. And he goes on the inside, so he goes like this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because that's where the something is gonna go. And then we do another guy like this. So then this piece, he's gonna go Look around here. It gets faster once you have the rest in place because it's like Legos now. You just keep stacking the sandwich. Oh, here's the other thing I remember from my other ones. Sometimes the holes, you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. Okay. All right, I need to back out this last piece. Make sure when you put the heatsinks, you place them perpendicular to the USB port to maximize airflow. It's minute, but in some installs, it may help. I like you figure out, usually not us with a hat. Yeah, thank you. So you're saying, make sure I put them perpendicular to the USB ports. Noted. Gonna have to file these down like you mentioned. There we go. It's a tight squeeze. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, I will definitely. I'm on, to be perfectly honest, I'm gonna like look at the thermals once this is running and I have a few workloads from Kubernetes like balanced or load balanced over to here. I'm gonna look at them and I'm just gonna make a game time decision like, do I really want to take it back apart? I do, just because, you know, why not? But at the same time, this is going to be sealed up pretty good to where the heat is going to all come through, I think, one through the fan or through the USB ports or the I/O ports. But yeah, for sure. Okay. Okay, I/O port. Yeah, we already did that. I guess I shouldn't have done it yet, but I did. Whatever. Well, they say not to do it until now, but we wouldn't have been able to get the standoffs in there. Okay, so now the three-prong piece, he's going to go. All right, there's him. He's going to go right here. This one's kind of, he didn't get buffed out too good. It's not as clear as the other ones, but that's okay. We don't mind. He's going to be sandwiched in there. But that one feels weird. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go with it. I mean, it can only go one place. That's not buffed out, maybe because it's so thin. Okay, so then, oh no, duh. I totally skipped over it. No, I'm right. So then this piece, there's a couple pieces that go here. And then this piece. It's weird because it doesn't say that this piece is black, but this is the piece. All right, we're only 2 pieces away. I'm sure my timer's up. Oh, peel on the thin one. Good call. I should check. Well, to me, it looks like it's just not like, put my hand here so it'll focus. It just looks like, you know, just not a good polish job or something. Yeah, to me, it just, yeah. All right. And then this guy, the black piece is going on here. All right. We're almost at the point of, well, not no return, just harder to get back. There's that guy. And then, oh yeah, the last piece. All right, the clear piece. Yeah, this case is looking sweet now. Is there a peel on that thin? Oh, wait, I answered that. Totally. There to go refract the RGB. The prediction time I was referring to was your stream time. Oh, just to clarify, was it my first time making one of those? Oh yeah, no worries at all. I think I lost. I usually try to end shortly before 9, and I just realized it's a little after 9 here, Central Time, which is, I think, good because I thought it was a lot later than that. This is the first time I looked at the clock through this whole entire process. Cool guy. How many pies do I have total? In my house, I have a Pi 0, I have a Pi 2, I have a Pi 3B. And I think that's it. Now a Pi 4. So I think I have 4 now. I think this is my 4th. And then, so what do they do? My Pi 0 is just a simple guy that pings my servers and sends wake on LAN packets if they're ever down. My Pi 2 is back there, and it runs my LED panel for my social notifications and just other things. It runs a LED panel behind me. And then my Pi 3 is RetroPie. It doesn't get a lot of action. Used to get more action at the office, but we're not there. And then this one is going to be added to my Kubernetes. So vastly different roles. So meaning you can finish up before you have to end the stream? Well, that was my intent. Hopefully that's how I was interpreting. Okay, yeah. Awesome. I love it. Yeah, do it as much as you want. I thought that was super cool. Yeah, I think I failed though, but we'll see. Okay, this fan. Okay, I'm not gonna critique the wiring on this fan, but I'm gonna critique the wiring on this fan. Can you see that? Like how? What? I'm just gonna bend it back. How about that? So meaning you finish. Yeah. Hey Josh, what's up, dude? How's it going, man? Good to see you, man. Haven't seen you in a while. I know we talked on Twitter a little bit, but hey Josh, what's up, dude? Man, you're OG Amaze Josh. Amaze Josh, he used to hang out with me in my stream when I played games, and it's just me and him. It was good old the early days on Twitch. How's it going, man? How you doing? Wrap it around the bottom. Oh yeah, good call. Should I go around the top or the bottom? Just around the bottom like that? How's that look? Would anybody balk at that? I think that's okay. I'll give you guys a close up. Does that look okay? I mean, it's gonna end up kind of lifting up a little bit. I'll go with that. Good, man. What's this for? So just a Raspberry Pi, Pi 4. It's going to be another server in my infrastructure, a very low power server that will run some workloads just in case the power goes out. Some of my things are on battery backup, and this will be one of them. Well, all of my networking, so that's another good point. My networking equipment is on a different battery backup than my servers, and so if my networking equipment's on battery backup, this thing gets power through the network, and so this thing will stay on too. So is that case made for this PoE hat? Yeah, it is. Look at that. Oh yeah, good call. Is it? They said it was. Helps if I do it the right way. Oh, what? Are you kidding me? Hold on. Maybe is this going the right way? Oh man. No way. Hold on. Am I missing pieces? The one in the instructions looks much bigger. I was thinking that too. You have a lot of stuff going on through your house, like work-wise? Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have a lot of network stuff, but yeah, work-wise, yeah, working from home, man, which is actually pretty awesome. Is this case made for the... dude, I think so. The one in the instructions looks so much bigger. You know, wouldn't that really suck if at the very end... Dude, I think you are exactly right. But not all is lost. Dude. Oh my gosh. The last piece. There was like... Dude, there's only like 2 PoE hats. If it's already flush with the top. Well, the problem is I can't even close it all the way. Oh, it almost wants to be like if it was like that, perfect. If it was like that, dude, it's almost like this piece is backwards. Like this piece was cut backwards. Well, I take that back. Like if I like it's yeah. So is it like I know it doesn't go like that, but I mean it would fit perfect right there if it was cut. Flip it the other way. Oh yeah, I did have it the other way, but if I flip it the other way, it's totally off center. Oh, this is the cardboard. So this is nothing. So this is cardboard. I think they ship them like that. Are you kidding me? That's so close. Not the acrylic, weird. Yeah, to me it feels like, I mean, it feels like this is cut. Well, no, because I was going to say, it feels like this is backwards, but even if not. Yeah, I mean, there's no other, like, PoE hat, though, for this. I mean, there's the smaller, low-profile one. But there's not another one that I'm aware of that would even work with this case. I mean, this is the one. Dremel tool. Totally. Oh, I was so close. So, I mean, I'm just like looking at it like, did I do something wrong? Could this go in a different way? I don't think so. I'm just kind of like eyeballing this because there's no other way that this hat can go on. And it doesn't obviously move around. Did I buy the 3+ hat? Well, I bought I bought the model that is, yeah, good question now. Like, was this case for the different hat, for the wrong hat? Could be. This is the hat I bought. Which one is that? That is the U6110. So it's this one. I'll switch over here. The official PoE hat. Maybe, let me see. Compare the position of the cuts from the pictures with the distance of the edges. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it has to be the wrong hat. The case might be mismatched to the pie. It's upside down. Wait, what? Wait. Not the UC Tronics one. Case might be mismatched to the pie. It's upside down. Let me see really quick. It's for a 3+. Some motherboard stands us with RAIDs up the last piece enough to attach to it. But oh, here, I'll here. Let me switch monitors because I'll show you what I am looking at. So this is, I mean, this is the one I have. Let me see. Is this the, what model is this? Let me see. Where are models? I mean, this might not be the one. U6110. U6110. So it's 4Pi4 or 3B+. In the picture. Leave the top. Just leave the top off, more ventilation. Yeah, I mean, I could. Definitely an option. But I'd almost rather get the right one. And maybe I got the right one. So I have to figure out, like, did I get the wrong? Yeah. So let's leave this. What's this? Let me pull this open really quick over here. So black ice case, right? I'm going over here just because I got to go through my order history really quick. And so this is the case I got. All right, this is the case I have. Where did I go wrong? Like, obviously that looks a little bit different. But did I just totally buy the wrong hat? C4 Labs. Yeah, let's do that. Don't wait. One sec. C4 Labs. Good call. Whoa. I guess he makes all kinds of stuff. Oh yeah, that looks like my Pi Zero case. I guess that makes sense. So what are we doing? Raspberry Pi, Pi 4. I mean, don't have that many options. Grab a drink. And here it is. Yeah, I mean, so the one I pulled up, I mean, this is the one I bought. I mean, you can see right there, I purchased it, what, 4 days ago, 5 days ago? But this is interesting. Like this hat, 2 fits. Yeah, good call. See here, I mean, here's my 4B. Raspberry Pi PoE hat. I think you're right. I think it's my fault. So I think you're right. I think there's an official hat. Sure, whatever. Open it up. And mine's not the official hat. I think that's where I went wrong. Yeah, and this is where I think it's like, so let me see, like, is there an official Raspberry Pi, like, PoE hat? Let me open up this really quick. Like, I thought there was only, like, a handful, and I didn't even think. Pi 4 or whatever. Raspberry Pi, right? PoE hat? Yeah, so this is the one. Like, yeah, I bet that's what it, yeah, totally. My bad. It's me, 100% me. I bought the wrong hat. I know. No, I'm totally. I'm gonna right my wrong at some point. Hopefully, Micro Center has this because I don't really want to wait on Amazon to get it, but we'll see. Micro Center is actually fantastic when it comes to Raspberry Pi parts. I was blown away at how much they have, just in general. I mean, this isn't. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Micro Center. They have so many awesome things, but I was totally blown away when I went in there to buy something and they had like just, yeah, all kinds of Raspberry Pi parts, especially like a whole section of Adafruit. I was like, oh my gosh. Let me see. That's for the Pi 3B. Look at the I/O shield. They think they sold the case for being interchangeable, but the fan isn't centered, so it rotate along center to comment different ports. Yeah, I think this is what it is. I think this is my problem. So I didn't buy the official one. I just thought, yeah, this is the one. But I'm totally gonna do it. My secure gift. Good evening, bro. Hey, how's it going? I don't have a Micro Center near me. Closest one is about an hour. Yeah, I'm growing up, I never had one in my area from my hometown, but once I got here, they have them, and I was just like, yes, I feel so at home. Like I wanna walk up to every single person and ask them, like, what are you building this weekend? Like, what are you doing? You know, and I want to interview every single person on the way out and say, what'd you buy? What are you building? Tell me about it, because it is just so incredible. Have a guy that charges me around $99, gets me anything from Micro Center. Nice. What is a Raspberry Pi PoE hat? Lil Warrior. So it's a good question. So what is this? What is a Raspberry Pi PoE hat? Well, what this is it allows me to power my Raspberry Pi that I have right down here through the network, through power. So if you don't have, well, I shouldn't say you don't have, but once you put this hat on, if you have a PoE switch, so PoE is just power over Ethernet, then you can plug in a port right here, and your whole Raspberry Pi will have network and power just from the one cable. I could actually do it right now. I should do it and see if the fan turns on. It sounds kind of scary because it's not all the way together. I should do it real quick before I call this. Hey, real quick. Sorry, my notifications are kind of buried. Dude, Easton, dude, resub, tier 1, 6 months. Dude, thank you so much. Half a year, dude, 6 months. Let's go. Yeah, thanks, dude. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, you know what? I should do that really quick. This thing will probably fry or blow up. I mean, it should be fine. But let me grab my Ethernet cable. It's right here. And so, Lil Warrior, if you want to see what PoE is and see it in action, I'll show you. Here, give me 1 second. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you guys know this. Some of you know this, some of you may not. Little Warrior, you're asking what PoE is. Well, PoE, I have this Ethernet cable. It's plugged into a switch which has PoE, or power over Ethernet, and it's part of a spec. I won't say the spec because I can't remember off the top of my head. But the idea is that you have a couple extra wires. I'm going to dumb this down for myself because I don't technically fully understand it, but you have, 8 wires in here? 3 pairs. So there's 1 pair left over, 2 wires, and through that you can deliver power. So this is probably not going to work. Should work. I don't know why it wouldn't, but things usually don't work for me on the first time. But the idea is Oh yeah, when you plug it in, yeah, you get Ethernet and you get power. Yeah, I got it. So Lil Wario, that's the cool thing about PoE or power over Ethernet, is that when you plug it into devices that support PoE, you can give them power and network in one. So this guy's up and running. He's kicking off some air. So yeah, you can see like there aren't any power adapters plugged into here. I just plugged in my Ethernet adapter that's plugged into a PoE switch, and he's off to the races. But yeah, the switch didn't burn out and kill the stream. Yeah, who knows? I'm gonna plug this thing real quick. But no, he's up and running. So he's alive. So mission partially accomplished. Man, that fan is going. I should put it up to the stream to see if you guys can hear it. It's really not that loud. This is exaggerated. That's exaggerated because I put it right up to the microphone. But man, that fan is spinning. Oh, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I mean, I have servers in my basement. I'm not even going to hear this thing compared to everything else. Everyone's like, it's so loud. And I was like, so worried. Like, oh, how loud is it? And then I had to take a step back. I'm like, I have servers in my basement. Like, it can't be louder than that. So try around 20 of them. I bet it would be loud. Then yeah, piece of cake. I totally agree. If you ran 20, it would sound like a swarm of bees, I bet, because this, you can hear the high pitch. I mean, it's not as whiny as a one-use server, but it's like be like if a hamster had a hairdryer. I don't know where I come up with this stuff. Anyways, but yeah. Slayer Samanos, is that a standard Ethernet cable? It's a Cat 6 cable. So it's Cat 6 cable. So the magic isn't the cable itself. The magic is that I have a switch that has PoE, and then so that can detect when PoE devices are connected. And now that it's connected, it's delivering power to this guy. So yeah, I mean, Ethernet. I think Cat 5e supports PoE, and anything above I think supports PoE. And so this is just Cat 6, but plugged into my switch, and now he's giving this Raspberry Pi power. So, and you can use the power injector too. Yeah, including, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you don't need the special cables for PoE. Yep. But yeah, you can use the power injector too. And so if this, if you buy an access point that has PoE, most of the time they give you a PoE injector too, so that you can plug part of it into power, inject that power into that Ethernet cable, and then that will power then the device. But yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm using Cat 7. Yeah, you should totally buy Cat 7 for sure. There are so many standards of PoE too. There are. There's like PoE plus, 3 plus. I have no idea. I think my switch has 3 icons for the different standards it supports, and I have no idea. I'm just like, as long as they turn on, and I have cameras, access points, everything plugged into them. I'm just like, if it turns on, that's good. I should probably be a little more precise about it, but I don't. I don't know enough about it. I know that my cameras need a certain type of PoE, and I made sure that those are plugged in the right ones. Everything else, I'm just kind of like, because I have switches. I have mini switches that plug into my PoE that pull power. My access points pull power. Now this Raspberry Pi pulls power. I have 4 cameras that pull power. So I have a lot of different devices, and so far my switch has just been like, sure, we'll give it power. I don't know, my house might not be here in the morning. Hopefully they understand what they're delivering power to. But beware of passive PoE. Oh, tell me more. He beat you to it. PC Geek, if you look up 802.3AF on Google, you can find all about PoE. Yeah, I need to look more into it for sure. But tell me more about passive PoE. Have used that. My cameras were 12 volt non-PoE, so used a passive injector to send it. Now I have PoE active to passive adapters. Nice. Yeah, nice. Yeah, awesome. Hopefully, I should look into it. Like I have the Unify or Ubiquity Unify PoE Gen 2 switch. That's 24 ports, and it's part of their Gen 2, and it has 10 ports that are PoE++. hopefully I'm covered for the future. I have no idea what all of them means. I think some of the standards are still being settled too, and so I think they, it's just like when N wireless was coming out, 802.11n. Like a lot of people took their best guess at what the spec was currently. I think that's how PoE stuff is now too, at least from what I've read. And so, manufacturers are implementing the spec to the best of their ability, but the spec's still being written for some of this stuff. So, yeah, it's interesting. Does PoE supply? Does this PoE supply power enough for heavy duty stuff? Does it? It depends. I mean, it depends. It depends. And I think that's part of what the specs are for, how much power they can deliver over that Ethernet. There's definitely a limitation, not only by what that switch can do, but probably what that copper can do too, because, right, it's supposed to be low voltage wiring. So I don't know the details on it for sure, but I'll say yes, there are limitations. And plus, I wouldn't want to like power my TV through PoE, and unless I had the right cable that was rated for it. But at the end of the day, I think they're low power wires. MGAP probably saves on the bills too, not running PoE on all your switch ports. Oh yeah, good point. Good point. I think, I should look at, I mean, most of my switch ports, if they're not doing PoE, if they're not connected, they're off. And then if they are connected, they're not doing PoE unless they call for it, and then they light up a certain color. But I should look more into power savings on mine. I do enjoy like having PoE on my switch because, one, it's less wires, but but you get that with all PoE. But I enjoy that more than injectors because, I now I don't have to have tons of injectors everywhere. That was my life before I got a newer switch. I had like injectors everywhere, and they just don't fit in the greatest places, especially for cameras. Like it was kind of painful. So I had all my injectors in the basement and then sent all the wires up through the Ethernet in my house. And that was, and then I had to hide all those. So it's kind of nice getting a switch now that just does it for me. Less wall warts and less heat and less, a lot less, clutter. But they're not cheap. You can find decently priced ones. Not more than like an access point or IP. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, phone too is another good call. Yeah, for sure. Phones is one of the most popular use cases for it too. PC Geek usually maxes about 48 volt DC. That seems like a lot. That's awesome. I didn't know that. Awesome. There's some room accounting for power loss over Ethernet cable distances as well. Nice. Nice. 48 volt is the max. Here we go. I am Pepsi guy. I like it. 802.3 AF. AF, I love it. PoE 12 watts. PoE 2 plus is 25 watts. PoE 3 plus is 51 watts. 71 watts. All right. Mine does support PoE++. I have 10 of them on this port. I have a Gen 2 Pro, and it does support that. But that's a lot of power. That's a lot of power. Don't think I'll ever use that. But who knows? I mean, this Pi, I don't know what this Pi can pull at max, max throttle. If I tilt this CPU, how many watts is this going to pull? Hopefully a lot less than 71, because 71 seems like a lot to me, especially for a Pi. Is anyone getting some ideas already for less cables? LOL, yeah. 802.3 BT supports 90 watt. Whoa, that's a lot of power going through there. PC Geek, so it might be like a lot to send 48 volt out, but by the time it hits the device, it would be lower than that. Anyways, resistance over the cable can vary. Oh yeah, good point. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Info upgraders. Can't wait to get the server rack and start running my home lab 24/7. Yeah. It's super fun once you start diving into this stuff, and when it's fun when you when you start to purchase things, think about the future too. I guess that's my only recommendation. Like, don't totally overbuy, but if you're ever thinking about PoE stuff, think about maybe a couple ports of PoE, especially if you can get it for cheap or a couple more dollars instead of running 2 switches. I mean, unless you want to run 2 switches, but yeah, it's super fun stuff. And so when I plan mine out, I want to say V2, but it's really like V20, home lab. Maybe to you guys it was V2 because that's kind of when I started talking about it. PoE was high on my list was because I already ran 4 cameras, 2 access points. And then I knew I wanted to run mini switches and, pies off of it too. So, and I even talked about in that video too, like before I even bought all this stuff, I was like, this is what I plan on doing. So, hey, I finally powered a Pi over PoE, albeit I need to get a different Pi hat. Homeland Security. Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, totally. He's going to run Homeland Security out of his house 24/7. Gone plaid with power. Yeah, gone plaid. We've gone plaid. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm impressed. I mean, I bought the wrong hat, but man, you can feel like the centrifugal force kind of from the fan spinning, or maybe not. Maybe it's just pulling on it. But yeah, I mean, I'm super happy. I mean, yeah, this is turned out pretty good. So far, so good. I mean, I just love that you plug it in and it powers on. I don't know why I'm so amazed by that. I mean, I have other devices that do it, but I've never had a Pi that did it. And there are tons of projects out there where people are doing it too. You could get a really small one or build a mini cluster with them too. But I think at that point, yeah, I mean, you would just use USB or something like that. I'm getting tired. Time to go to bed. Yeah, dude, PC Geek, thanks for being here. Yeah, I am kind of too. I'm gonna look for direct mentions. I would go back to big screen, but it's kind of messy in here now with all this. I'm tired too. So man, I'm gonna look for direct mentions or mentions. So my secure GIF. I am working on a reverse engineering the controller software for Unify gear. Oh, nice. Yeah, let me know how that goes. Let me know. Interesting. That sounds fun. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I kind of know where I begin. I go with the UI and sniff all of the calls that it makes. But that's me, just being a developer, front-end developer. I look at all the calls that it makes and then make assumptions about what that does and then do the implementation myself. But that's a lot of work. But good luck with that. Let me know how it goes for sure. R&B Dev, thanks for follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Gonna look for mentions because I'm gonna wrap it up. It's a little bit later than I used to going for. Let me see if that's getting warm. No, it's not getting too warm. Maybe I didn't need the heatsink there, but man, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks for letting me try something a little bit different. Thanks for all the pointers on getting this thing together. I apologize. I bought the wrong PoE hat. I almost had a near flawless victory. Just couldn't get that last piece on. And no part of C4 Labs. I love this case. This is my 4th Black Ice acrylic case. I love them just for how compact they are, how nice they look. And the lights look nice when you have this acrylic, and I don't know. It's just a really nice, I think, sleek look for these guys. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for spending time, pointing me in the right direction, giving me tips. And dude, thank you so much. There were lots of subs and renew subs, new people following, new people joining. Really appreciate it. If you like more of this and you haven't followed yet, follow along. I'm going to try to mix things up every now and then. I know that I do answer tons of questions. I know that some people might want to see other things. So I'm going to try different things. I'll still answer questions. Absolutely. You can always ping me. You can ping me here, Discord, Twitter. And if you want to hang out and chat some more, yeah, Discord's always open. Discord is definitely the place to be to meet and chat with other people here. So I appreciate it. Real quick, Pinot Noir Superstar, Techno Tim, well done tonight. Thank you. I like the change up. Live demo's difficult. Keep it up, dude. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, this was 100% live demo. Like there was no practicing. Like I took the stuff out of the packaging. So I appreciate it. My secure give, I have the Inform protocol already documented. All right. Yeah, you're on it, man. You're on it. You can open source it? Yeah, you should. If you're reverse engineering it, totally. But yeah, anyways, good luck with that. Dude, thank you guys so much. I will be back most likely on Saturday. Thank you so much, man. As always, be good to each other. Take care, folks.